Hi, everybody. Welcome to the finals. So you guys will see the top bar, we are in practice mode. So we're gonna get everybody in here and I'll give us a countdown before we go live and launch. As we are getting everybody in, our judges and our NSHSS staff. You guys, if you'd like to go ahead and go off camera and mute your mics, we will let you guys know when we get ready to start. Hey, Grace.
Hi everyone.
You have everything you need, right? That you have the PowerPoint and everything?
Yep.
So, hi, Bonnie.
Where's your lipstick though?
Mm-hmm. Hey guys, as you're coming in, we just ask that you mute your mic. We are all in here together. So this is a combined group of our 20 finalists, of course, as well as our mentors, or not our mentors, as well as our judges. So as everybody is joining, I'll kind of go over a couple things. So with the webinar platform, it's quite different than the breakouts that we have been using. The orange bar at the top shows us that we are in practice mode, which means everybody who was invited to join us as a panelist, which are the 20 finalists, like I mentioned, the judges, and then a handful of NSHSS staff members. We are convening in here. All of the attendees are on the other side. And so as soon as I broadcast, which means go live, they'll come into the room and we will start the event itself. So welcome you guys as everyone's coming in. We're just making sure that we get all of our judges in and all of our top 20 finalists. And we will get started around 2 o'clock. I hope you guys are excited. I did want to point out just a couple features that are, as panelists, you guys have access to. The bottom bar, there's a chat feature. So attendees will be able to chat with us. They will be able to ask their questions. communicate, because there is a portion where the judges will leave to go deliberate, and we will turn to the audience for some live Q&A to ask their questions about all of your projects. Who knows, maybe you guys will get some potential donors or some new networking opportunities out there. And other than the chat function, I think that's all you guys need to know. Oh, the screen sharing function. Yes. The big screen sharing function. With the webinar platform, you should not have an issue screen sharing. However, if you do, we do have your links as backup, but everybody should be able to screen share in this webinar platform. So, woohoo! I'm going to turn my mic off as I'm just going to
Courtney.
So, yes, James.
Yeah, hey, I have a question. Okay, once this is over with, and it's like unlike last time, and we go to input our scores, what link is that? Is that SurveyMonkey?
Hey James, it's Nikki. It's the initial link in the invite that you were sent when you set up the account. You'll just log in with the same email and your password. If for any reason that's not happening for you, just send them to me in an email and I can upload them for you, not a problem.
Okay.
I will say I encourage all of the judges to notate your scores throughout the presentations, since it is kind of a tight window, so we can get everything announced quickly. It's going to be much more beneficial for everybody to kind of make your notes as you go and make your scores as you go, so we can get that figured out as soon as possible.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'll have to do then, because I mean, I've gotten probably 1,000 different emails from Slack, SurveyMonkey, and everything. I mean, you guys are doing awesome. It's on me trying to keep everything straight, and so yeah, I'll probably have to end up emailing you there, Nikki.
That is not a problem, James. As I mentioned before, you know, anybody that's having issues being able to log in to SurveyMonkey on the judges side, please feel free to just email me your scores and I can get those taken care of. Thanks, everyone.
Excuse me, I have a question.
Go ahead, Benjamin.
I was just wondering if you guys would prefer us to have our cameras off when during the live, or do you want us to keep them on? Because like we're presenting in front of a bunch of other people now, so.
That's a great question. Benjamin, we're going to ask that you guys have your mics and cameras turned off until your name is called to present.
Okay, all right.
Does that go for judges as well? Do you want our cameras off too?
No, you guys have your cameras on. We'd love to see your smiling faces, especially as you're watching the presentations move on. But before we start, Grace, do you kind of want to give an overview of the agenda, Grace, with the presentation and stuff so everyone knows what to expect?
Yeah, of course. So the way this is going to work, I will intro us as I've been doing for the past couple rounds. I'll give a little spiel welcoming all of the attendees, because this is live out into the public of our NSHSS family. And then I'm going to pass it off to Mr. James Lewis, who I think just joined us. Hi there, Jim. He's the president and co-founder of NSHSS, if you guys don't know him. He's going to give us a few remarks, congratulatory remarks. I will then intro our sponsor, the U.S. Army, and then Mr. Carr, Mr. Leon Carr, I'm not sure if he's with us yet. He is going to give a brief presentation about the Army ROTC, and then we're going to move into introducing the judges. We will go through and introduce all of the judges to the attendees, and then we will move into your final presentations. As we did for the first couple rounds, I will call you out in no particular order. I will stop sharing my screen so that you can share your screen for your presentations. We will move through all 20 presenters and then dismiss our judges to make their final decisions. At that time, while the judges are gone, we will take some questions from the audience. For you, the presenters, the competitors, You can answer any questions from the audience. Like Courtney said, you might find some donors, some more collaborators in the audience, so be open to those questions. We'll do that for about 20 minutes, and then the judges will come back with their decisions, and each of the judges will announce one of the winners, and then we will move you, the winners, into a media room after we conclude the session, where you will be interviewed and talk to some members of the press, and we'll take some virtual pictures, and that will be the end of the Be More-A-Thon. So let us know now if you have any questions, because we'll be getting started here in about 5 minutes. And congratulations, everyone.
Hey, Grace. I just want to take a moment to thank everybody that's made this happen before we kick it off. I'm not sure who's listening right now, if it's judges and mentors. I see a few staff people, but I just want to do a shout out to everybody that has contributed to this event. So excited about what we're doing, and we couldn't have done it without your support and guidance, and it's really amazing. So whoever is listening at this point, I just wanted to give a personal thank you before we get started with the regular program. So congrats everybody, and thank you so very much.
Thank you, Jim. We appreciate that. Right now we have just judges and participants and staff in the room. But we appreciate you. This one, we wouldn't have even started this event without you. We wouldn't all be here without you, Jim.
Well, that's a lot of burden and responsibility as well. So no, we're really thrilled that we can do this. And I'm going to mention this in my comments, but you know, when we have our member events, we get to physically see everybody. Now we're doing it virtually, and the way to connect everyone through all the webinars and virtual events that we've hosted, and having something like this is really meaningful. So, you know, everyone's a winner here, and we couldn't have done it without the whole team. So I'm looking forward to it. I feel sorry for the judges, because I know it's very difficult to choose the winners. Everyone has done such an amazing job, and everyone that participated is learning a lot from this. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I talked to Klaus this morning, and he's excited. He's going to be watching too. So I'm going to mention
great.
that. Yeah, I'm going to mention that in my remarks. So yeah,
we'll certainly give him a shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah, for you guys that don't know, Klaus is Mr. Klaus Nobel. He's the co-founder of NSHSS. He's also one of the reasons we're all here today. So we will definitely give him a shout out if he's on the other end up in Oregon. All right. So we will get started here in just a few minutes, everyone. We are waiting on a couple judges to join us. Participants, shake it out. Take a deep breath. I'm a theater major, so we can do some warm-ups if you want. Just kidding, I'm not gonna make you suffer through that. I hope everyone got some lunch or at least a snack, because we need your brains working.
We can use your computer.
No. Hey, Grace.
Yes.
I just realized that I'm Lee Lewis, which is fine. She's definitely my better half, but are you okay with that? Is that all right?
So you should be able to.
I'll do it.
You can change it? Okay, Courtney's going to change it for you.
Oh, thank you. I don't mind being Lee. I don't know if she would like for me to carry the torch, but no, thanks.
Of course.
Is that better?
Mom, answer Dad's call. Mom, answer Dad's call.
All right, folks, we are waiting on one final judge, and we will get ready to let people in, let attendees in. Perhaps we will have some chat interaction for you guys.
Just as a reminder to the judges, I just wanted to state, make sure you're notating your scores throughout the presentations, as we're going to have a shorter window of time to input our scores following the presentation. If you have any issues accessing SurveyMonkey to put in your scores, please email them directly to me. I will drop my email in the chat once again, just so everyone has it. But we want to be able to be sure that the deliberation time that we have, we're able to quickly and effectively put in those scores so we can get those winners announced as soon as possible.
Thank you, Nikki. Okay, guys, I'm about to go ahead and put us in broadcast mode. So what that will mean is our attendees and our audience will start joining us. Again, you've got the chat button at the bottom, so they can communicate that way. Other than that, we will be the only ones being able to verbally speak and share your screen. Once again, competitors, congratulations. Please keep your cameras and your mics muted until your name is called, and good luck. Here we go.
Okay, welcome, welcome. I see attendees starting to come in. Welcome everyone across the US, hopefully across the world, joining us for the first ever NSHSS Be More-A-Thon. These are the live finals of a weekend-long event. We have been hard at work. Mostly the competitors have been hard at work, presenting their presentations, their prototypes, their nonprofits, their projects for world betterment since yesterday, and 20 of them have made it to the final round. So I'm going to kick us off with a warm welcome to the entire NSHSS community. I see that some of you are still trickling in, so we will wait until we have a good chunk of you to kick this thing off. But here we are at the end of a long weekend. Our competitors have gone through 2 rounds of presentations. Our judges have had a very, very, very hard job of narrowing us down to 20 participants from 40. And then we even started before that with about 200 applications. So we have come a long way from 200 applicants to 20 finalists. So congratulations to all of you for your hard work. I'm going to kick us off today. We have about we're getting close to 100 of you in attendance. So welcome, 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 the entire NSHSS community. We're here to be inspired. We're here to celebrate world betterment. We're here to celebrate the Nobel legacy. NSHSS was co-founded by Mr. Klaus Nobel and Mr. James Lewis, who is here with us today. Mr. Klaus Nobel, I hope that you're on the other line watching us from up in Oregon. We wish that you were here. We wish that we were all together in person. But Mr. Nobel, you're the reason we're all here today. We're all celebrating world betterment in your family spirit today. So welcome, welcome all of you. Welcome back to our competitors, our judges, our mentors who have been killing it this weekend. What a whirlwind it's been. This is the first time NSHSS has ever done anything like this. So thank you for bearing with us throughout all of the technical difficulties, but we've made it through. We've had a great time. We've been so inspired. And no matter which of 10 of you win today, NSHSS is so proud of you. We are here to support you. We are here to continue giving you a community, even if you don't win the grants today. The competitors who have been eliminated thus far, we are here to continue to help them. We encourage you to reach out to them, to continue to be connected, to continue to collaborate. It's all about collaboration. It's all about community, and that's what NSHSS is here for. So speaking of your cheerleaders and people who are here to support you, I would like to introduce our co-founder, our fearless leader, our president, Mr. James Lewis, for some congratulatory remarks.
Oh, thank you so much, Grace. It's a pleasure to be here, and of course, welcome to the More-A-Thon final event. It's so exciting, and I had the opportunity of talking with Mr. Klaus Nobel this morning, and he asked for me to share his congratulations and warm wishes to everyone that's participating in this meaningful competition. It's exciting because all 200 students that submitted your ideas for world betterment, you know, we love your ideas. We love the fact that they're innovative. You're changing the world. You're the energy that will make our planet a much better, safer, saner place. And Mr. Nobel and I want to congratulate all 200 people that are participating. In our mind, there's no winners and losers. Everyone that is participating is learning a little bit more about themselves, how they can have an impact on their local, regional, national, or even international communities. It's interesting when we talk to Klaus, he talks about the NSHSS members being the future Nobel laureates. And certainly a program like this today reflects that notion of recognizing excellence, taking outstanding individuals that have diverse ideas about world betterment, about saving the planet, you know, anything from environmental to scientific. It's exciting to hear all of your concepts on how we can make the world a much better place. So on behalf of Klaus and myself, we want to say congrats to all 200 participants. They are all winners, and the ability to share your concepts and learn about the process of success through NSHSS and other organizations that you're involved in is something that we want to support. I want to say that, you know, how did we get here to this More-A-Thon? Some of you have participated potentially in some of our physical events. We usually have 6 to 8 of them a year and throughout the country. And with COVID, unfortunately, we were not able to do that. But Klaus and I, one of our favorite parts was something we called the Passion Projects. And I know Morgan mentioned this yesterday in her introduction, but for those of you that have been to an event, it's an exciting way, as you know, to recognize the students and educators' passion, give them a platform to spread their excitement and news about what they can do to make the world a better place. And we certainly miss our events. Klaus and I both miss seeing all of our members and the parents and educators and our partners, but you know, having a virtual opportunity like this is exciting. And I know the staff and volunteers that have been coordinating our webinars and other events, we want to stay connected. So even though there's difficult times, I'm really proud that our organization can offer an event like this to recognize your efforts, to uplift you, to share your passions with others. And it's a great opportunity to participate in this event. And a special thank you to the judges and the mentors. You know, as I listened to your introductions yesterday, I was really inspired. You know, many of you are entrepreneurs, you're C-level professionals, and cannot thank you enough for giving your time and effort to work with these great young people and our educators to give them guidance on how they can grow personally and professionally. So I know it's going to be difficult for the judges to choose the final 10. So best wishes to the judges, to all the competitors. And again, thank you all for participating in this event and for sharing your ideas in an environment that is safe. You know, we want to hear everyone's concept on how we can make the world a better place for all of us. So congratulations, take good care, and I'm going to turn it back over to Grace.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. We'll hear from you again once we find out who the winners are. At this time, just like we couldn't have done this without you, Mr. Lewis, we also couldn't have done this without our event sponsor, the U.S. Army ROTC. They usually join us at all of our physical events, of course, but we couldn't do that this year. So they are here virtually. So at this time, Mr. Leon Carr, who has been a judge throughout this competition, he is going to lead us through a brief presentation about the U.S. Army ROTC program. And Mr. Carr, I will be happy to advance your slides. So if you give me a cue, I'll be happy to do that. But Mr. Carr, go ahead and take it away.
Okay. Good afternoon. As Ms. Dent said, my name is Leon Carr. On behalf of Cadet Command Leadership, Major General Evans Commanding, 4th Brigade Leadership, Colonel Hill, and my supervisor, Major Malik Morgan, Professor of Military Science at Morgan State University. We are the Bear Battalion. And the men and women who proudly serve our nation, the United States Army. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you, and thank you for your support. The Armies are proud of our partnership with the National Society of High School Scholars. We share a mutual commitment of preparing young men and women for both academic and career success. Okay, let me get started. What is Army ROTC? Founded in 1916, ROTC is an educational program that offers more than 900 colleges and universities across the United States. ROTC prepares young adults to become officers in the United States Army. Our mission, we partner with universities to recruit, educate, develop, and inspire senior ROTC cadets in order to commission officers of character for the total Army, and partner with high schools to conduct junior ROTC in order to develop citizens of character for a lifetime of commitment and service to our nation. Next slide, please. Ms. Dent. Next slide, please.
The right one?
No, ma'am. Next one.
Scholarships?
It's not in that order, but we can work with it. Scholarships and bonuses, okay? Pretty well self-explanatory. National High School Scholarship Program, it highlights the various scholarships we have, whether you're looking at a 4-year scholarship, 3-year advanced designee, and then we have special categories like the military junior colleges and scholarships at your various HBCUs and JROTC. We have the Congressional Scholarship Initiative. Campus-based scholarships are 2-year, 2.5, 3-year, 3.5, and 4-year. And then we have line and GRFD. Now we say GRFD, we're talking about guaranteed reserve force duty. So we have young people that choose to serve on a part-time basis so they can go to college, join the Army Reserve or Army National Guard, and if they qualify, they can receive a GRFD, which once they receive their degree and their commission, then their commitment is to serve in either one of those reserve components. We also have the Minuteman Scholarship, similar to the GRFD, and we have the West Point Cross marketing option. Next slide, please. Ms. Dent, thank you. All right, National High School process. Basically on the slide, it shows eligibility. How do you sign up, initiate the application for, if you're in high school and you want to apply for a scholarship through Cadet Command. You go to the Go Army website. You sign up, you initiate the application. It's pretty explanatory on the website. You know, it depends on your performance in high school. As a young person looking at your GPA, your SAT scores or your ACT scores, looks at the whole person, meaning, hey, you participated in sports, various organizations within the school. You identify a major, select schools of choice that you may want to attend within the country. You take the CBEF, okay, which is a campus-based program that you have to take if you're looking at obtaining a scholarship. And then last and final, you upload and verify all your documents. Those documents being like I said, your SAT scores, your ACT scores, high school diploma, so forth and so forth. Next slide, please. Ms. Nat?
Yes, I believe the slides are lagging just a bit, Leon.
Okay.
Can you see the correct slide now?
Yes, ma'am. CBEF core scales. Once again, this slide highlights, it talks about achievement orientation, the willingness to give one's best effort and to work hard to achieving difficult objectives. Army identification, the degree of personal identification with and strict interest in becoming a U.S. Army soldier. Fitness motivation, the degree of enjoyment from participating in physical exercise. Willingness to put in the time and effort to maintain good physical conditioning. Hostility to authority, being suspicious of the motives and actions of legitimate authority figures, viewing rules, regulations, and directives from higher authority as punitive and legitimate. Peer leadership, seeking positions of authority and influence. Confident in being in charge. Willingness to accept responsibility for the group's performance. Self-sufficiency, feeling that one has successfully overcome work obstacles in the past and that one will continue to do so in the future. Social maturity, the willingness to follow rules and regulations, staying out of serious trouble. Stress tolerance, ability to maintain one's composure under pressure. Remaining calm and in control of one's emotions instead of feeling anxious and worried. In addition, an assessment of work values, the personal importance placed on 11 job characteristics. Examples, working as part of a team, doing challenging work. Next slide, please.
Thank you, Mr. Carr. Any final remarks about the U.S. Army for us? And we will take questions later on in the program.
Okay. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Carr. Attendees, we will hold your questions about the U.S. Army ROTC. We will have plenty of time for questions after the finalists present. But at this time, I'm going to go ahead and introduce the judges throughout the competition. You've already met Mr. Leon Carr, who just spoke to you. He is a recruiting operations officer at the U.S. Army ROTC. Mr. James Clark also joined us as a judge from the U.S. Army ROTC. He is an events and outreach specialist. We also had joining us as judges Ms. Amy Von Kanel. She is the CEO and founder of our partner volunteer crowd. Mr. Omar Cruz also joined us from the U.S. Army ROTC. He is a scholarship and enrollment advisor. We also had Mr. Jonathan Bobrow from Move 38, of which he is the CEO and founder. We also had Ms. Bonnie Abanza. She is the founder of the Abanza Group. We had Cindy Menegaz, who is the founder of our partner Smart Track College Funding, not the founder, excuse me, National Program Director at Smart Track College Funding. We also had Ms. Morgan Vasquez, who is the Director of Early Career Talent Acquisitions and Programs at Walmart, and she is also a proud NSHSS Fellow. I'm sure she will tell you herself. We had Ms. Antoinette Alfonso Zell, who is the CEO and founder of The Story Room. We had Ms. Jamie Finch, who is the Chief Business Development Officer at MyClover, also an NSHSS partner. And then we had Ms. Kathleen Rogers, the CEO of KH Rogers LLC. And our final judge was Mr. Brian Mitchell, the founder and general manager of Bullseye Admissions. Thank you so much to all of our judges. You had the hardest job out of the entire competition, we know. But here we are at the final round. You only have one more decision to make. I know it's the hardest of them all, but thank you so much for all being here. We appreciate you. Could not have done this without you. So without further ado, we are going to start the final round of competitions of the NSHSS The More-A-Thon. Each of our finalists here will have 7 minutes to present their final presentations, and we have no more opportunities for the judges to ask questions. So this time it is presentations only. Now, I will call your name in no particular order, competitors. I will stop sharing my screen here so that I can let you guys share your presentations. And first up, we have Ishani Jha, who was mentored by Yusuf Ajdil. And Ishani, I will give you your halfway 4-minute mark to end your presentation. And you can get started whenever you're ready.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, my name is Ishani Jha, and I am a senior in high school based in San Jose, California. And my project is titled Doped Biochar for the removal of pesticides, microplastics, antibiotics, and heavy metals from water. My journey began in junior high when I was given the opportunity to choose a 6th grade science project. As an avid swimmer, a topic that naturally interested me was pool water. And from there, I became interested in water contamination issues. As a resident of Oregon at that time, fish advisories especially caught my eye, and mercury contamination, because fishing is very popular in Oregon. But I soon realized that the water contamination issue wasn't just limited to fish advisories and mercury. In fact, worldwide, 2.1 billion people lack access to clean water, and nearly half of the world's hospital beds are filled with patients suffering from water-related diseases. On a trip to India that summer, I witnessed firsthand some of the grotesque deformities resulting from water contamination. I did a little bit more research, and I found that the Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry ranks the following contaminants as the most toxic: arsenic, lead, mercury, cadmium, PPDDT, PPDDE, BPA, and dimetrodazole. So I set about designing a way to provide globally available, sustainable, and affordable means of purifying drinking water, something I like to call ASA. For my filtration material, I chose biochar. Biochar is a carbon matrix, kind of like the activated carbon we see in commercial filters. However, biochar is made by burning organic matter without any oxygen present. This allows it to retain original chemical and functional groups that were present in the biomass before burning. This gives it an advantage over activated carbon, which is just pure carbon. I took things a step further and added chemical surface modifications for enhanced contaminant selectivity and greater pollutant uptake. Biochar can be made from waste material, which also allows for a circular economy. 5 years later, after research and development and working with chemical companies and also professors at the University of California, Irvine, Illinois Institute of Technology, Argonne National Lab, and Stanford University, I finally had my material ready. When I compared it to filters developed by universities and commercially available filters, I found that my material was at least as effective, if not more effective, at removing the contaminants I was targeting. To make my filter globally available, I founded my company, Aqua Universa LLC. We're currently planning pilot projects to test the implementation of this technology. We want to understand people's needs and scale this filter accordingly. Our motto is simple: access to clean water is a fundamental human right. On our board of directors, we have Professor Bhupesh Mishra, Dr. Felix Grun, Dr. James Carthew, and Ms. Sharon Upham. We've also established a partnership with Ford Motor Company to test the implementation and design this filter. Here you can see an alpha prototype of my filter, and we've conducted tests, and the flow rate is 0.5 liters per minute, and the floating cost is $15 per month. We also have a patent pending, which was filed on August 17th, 2020, and the projected publication date is December 3rd, 2020. Currently, we're undergoing rigorous tests to determine the breaking point of this filter and also the maximum loading capacity. Our target market in the short term is factories, Specifically, we want to purify industrial wastewater by starting with Ford's factories in Dearborn, Michigan. Then we hope to expand to mines and tailings, purifying water that comes from mines. And then in the long term, we want to expand our filter to middle-class consumers and rural villages through government contracts. For this, we're reaching out to the UN's Development Program for Sustainable Development Goals. My project targets Goal 6, which is clean water and sanitation. We hope to partner with the UN's Water Ambassadors Project for this outreach. We also have established a direct line of communication with Indonesia's president and deputy governor. We've also established a direct line of communication with the governor of Jakarta. Jakarta uses groundwater for its rapid growth and industrialization. This has led it to become the fastest sinking city in the world. And through my filter, I hope to allow this city to purify water from other sources so that it's not forced to sink into the ground. Here you can see a breakdown of my funding usage. We plan to start production in May 2021, and you can see through 2021, 2022, and 2023, our production costs and our advertising costs are expected to go up. We will begin production in 2021, and we will start marketing our filter with industrial companies and using it in factories. We hope to have a tangible product for domestic settings by 2022, and assuming all goes well, we should be profitable by 2023. We've applied to a grant by the National Science Foundation, the Environmental Engineering Grant for funding, and our proposal has passed initial screening. In addition to this, we hope to apply to government contracts through the Department of Defense, especially their small business innovation research and small business technology transfer programs. So why now? Well, for every single dollar that we invest in water contamination, there's a net savings of $250 billion per year expected. This is a cost-benefit ratio that exceeds that of even vaccines. My filter can revolutionize the water filtration industry. Not only is the one-time cost and floating cost very low to begin with, mass production will further lower this at least 50 times. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation, and I also want to thank NSHSS for providing this amazing opportunity, and my mentor at NSHSS, Yusuf bin Ajil, for supporting me throughout this. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at aqua.universa and visit our website, aquauniversa.webnode.com. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tishani. Right on time. Excellent work. Next up, we have Genevieve Jean-Pierre, who was mentored by Ashley Bolden. Genevieve, I'll give you a 3-minute warning when you have 3 minutes left, and feel free to go ahead and share your screen and get started.
Oh, 1 second. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. All right, can everyone see the screen clearly?
Yes, we can.
All right, so good afternoon, everyone. My name is Genevieve Jean-Pierre, and I wanted to do a project that combined my passions for nutrition, for public health, and for energy conservation. So the title of my project is called The Future is Fungi. So let's just take a second and reflect on the last 100 years of Earth's history. We've practically wrung the Earth of its natural resources. We've squeezed and taken from all that it has. We've drilled into its depths for coal mines, fracking, and oil reservoirs, and broken down Earth's atmosphere for precious petroleum. But what if we turn this action around for good and use something that squeezes, that breaks down, and takes from the Earth, but cycles it back around to be used again? Mushrooms. Mushrooms are fungi, which are Earth's natural recyclers, and they have a unique enzyme called cellobiase, which is the only protein on Earth that can perform the intermediate step in this hydrolysis process shown here that's needed to break down complex carbohydrates like cellulose into simpler ones like glucose. And cellulose is found in a lot of things, from wood to food waste to compost, and it's in every plant. So since it's the most abundant material on Earth, we might as well make use of it. So me and my team tested a group of 3 oyster mushrooms, for which one produced the most of the cello
I'm
bias?
sorry to interrupt you. I've paused your time. Could you go in and reshare your screen for us? I think some are having issues seeing your slides, but your time is paused. Sorry for that. All right. Yeah, if you can go full screen again, see if we can fix this issue.
All right, is everything good?
Will you advance one slide and see if we can see it advance?
Can we see that?
It's not full screen and I did not see the slide advance. See if you can go full screen now.
Press slideshow up on top and you should be able to advance it from there. If you want to try doing that.
Is everything good?
Genevieve, I think I have a link to your presentation. I'm going to go ahead and share your screen, share it myself, and you can just let me know when to advance the slide. How does that work?
Okay.
Okay, let me pull up your presentation here. Apologies for the technical difficulties, everyone. I know we're all learning about this new virtual world, so please just bear with us as we figure this out. All right, Genevieve. Can you send me, I don't have the correct link to your presentation. Let's try and share your screen one more time.
Okay, I'll try once again.
Okay. Yeah, and if it can't share full screen, we'll just go ahead and continue.
Right where it says play from start, click on that button all the way on the left.
Is this good?
Perfect.
All
Try
right.
to advance just to make sure we could see it.
Yes. Perfect.
Okay.
All right, if you can start where you left off, I will start your time back. Thank you, Genevieve. Thank you everyone for bearing with us.
Okay. So, right where we left off, my team and I, of 2 other high school students, tested a group of oyster mushrooms for which one produced the most of the cellobiase enzyme. The most efficient mushroom would be able to be used for its cellobiase to produce glucose. And glucose can be fermented into ethanol, a biofuel, which is a clean and renewable source of energy. So we worked with a Vanderbilt instructor who provided us with the necessary materials to test this enzyme efficiency. So this is where all the sciencey stuff happened. So we bought 3 species of oyster mushrooms from a local grower called Henosis mushrooms. We extracted their enzyme using an extraction buffer. We simulated the breakdown process shown in the previous slides in a test tube and used mass spectrophotometry to quantify how much glucose was produced, and we were able to conclude which mushroom broke down the most product. So out of our 3 species, the yellow, the pink, and the pohu, our pink was by far the best producer. So this was our first experiment. But now we want to run another test because we think it has the potential to become a full-out endeavor to be used as a step in the biofuel production process. So what this means for my project is to firstly run a second experiment to see what substrate or material that our mushroom is grown in has the ability to maximize our pink oyster mushroom's ability to break down cellulose. And secondly, we want to use them as resources in Tennessee's biofuel program and incorporate them into the transportation fuel supply chain. So why go through any of this? Well, there's a lot at stake. Earth's atmosphere and essentially our very existence is at stake here. If we look at this graph here, and at the United States solely, we'll find that from coal, we emit over 1 billion tons of carbon dioxide from coal. We emit over 1.6 billion tons of carbon dioxide from natural gas, and over 2.25 billion tons from oil. And this is just in the year 2018. Just think about the accumulation of pollution over the last 100 years. This is why we need biofuels, and our fungi can provide them. If you compare 1 gallon of ethanol versus 1 gallon of the leading gasoline, you'll find that ethanols reduce greenhouse gases by 86%. They reduce particulate matter by 47%, and they reduce hydrocarbons by 67%. So overall, this equates to much cleaner air. But it doesn't just stop here. Not only will we be growing mushrooms at Henosis, and this will contribute to the production of biofuel, but it will also help bring together local growers and youth in our Nashville community. In addition to growing mushrooms for research, they're also being sold to local restaurants and the farmers market in our city. So this is part of a larger dynamic called community-supported agriculture. And not only do we want to grow mushrooms, but we also want to grow vegetables and sell them to these markets as well. So we want to expand our garden beyond Henosis Plant Nursery and make a community garden, starting with the school we've already established connection with, Goodlettsville Elementary School. And we'll be able to provide more plants and fresh vegetables for our community and teach them about community-supported agriculture and the importance of environmental conservation. So partnering with me and the Futurist Fungi will help to provide fresh herbs and vegetables to sell to our local markets so we can reduce transportation pollution. We'll establish our community garden projects and provide for more freshly grown produce for our community. So the next steps that we must take are to buy more units of our pink oyster mushrooms and the 2 different growing conditions. We have to buy materials for our community garden, like plant beds, shovels, and topsoil. We have to continue planting with Henosis mushrooms so we can sell our vegetables, mushrooms, and herbs to the Nashville's farmers markets and other local restaurants. And finally, to establish connection with the Tennessee's Department of Transportation. So our pink oyster mushroom can be used for in-effect testing and production into ethanol blends so we can increase the prevalence of biofuels in our gas stations. So all of this costs money. Buying our mushrooms, growing them, testing them, getting them to the Tennessee Department of Transportation, and beginning our community gardens, which is why we need you. You can be a part of the process to help bring biofuel and ethanol to the forefront of the energy crisis that we are currently in. Because as we've wrung out the earth of all of its natural resources, we've spewed carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, hydrocarbons, smog, particulate matter, and we've clouded our atmosphere and the earth's future. But with my projects, I wanted to continue our experiment, take it to the biofuel manufacturers to be used in fuel production, and to begin a community garden program to promote the importance of reducing pollution, community-supported agriculture, and our amazing pink oyster mushroom and its ability to produce raw materials for biofuel. Because it's time we bring out some real energy. So join me and help us heal our planet, one fungi at a time. Thank you.
Excellent work, Genevieve. Right on time. Thank you. Sorry for the tech issues. Next up, we have Harshu Pandey, who was mentored by Pete Santora.
Okay, just a second.
All right.
Okay, can everyone see my screen and hear me?
Yes, looks good to me.
All right.
When you're ready, I will start your time.
So my project is about, so first of all, my name is Harshu Pandey and my project is about the identification of neutralizing epitopes against the SARS-CoV-2 or the COVID-19 virus. So since the beginning of the pandemic, I've been working alongside a team of professors at the University of Tennessee, and together we've been using a novel approach which deals with computational methods to develop a more effective vaccine against COVID-19. So where did it all start? Well, in the beginning of the pandemic, when I was stuck at my home in quarantine, and I was seeing on TV all of this news about all of these different businesses being shut down and all hospitals being overcrowded. But then I remembered that in spite of all of this horrible news, there was that one spark of hope that research groups all across the world were uniting and working together towards a new vaccine for COVID-19. And that's what really inspired me to pursue this project. And so I learned that we could use computational methods to predict the structures of different proteins. And so I wondered if we could use a similar approach towards COVID-19. So I got in touch with Dr. Dale and Dr. Aranya at the University of Tennessee Health Science Center. And together, we've been working on this project. So what we realized immediately was that most of these pharmaceuticals that were doing this at record pace, because of their speed, they were actually compromising on safety and efficacy. They just didn't have the same level as some of the more traditional methods. However, these traditional methods couldn't compete to establish a vaccine before the pandemic because they require so many more years of development. So we decided, let's take a different approach. Okay, let's try to see if we can blend our computational methods in this vaccine development process to accelerate it without compromising on safety. So that's what we did. We basically took a different approach, different than all other vaccine candidates, which were focusing on the whole spike protein. But instead, we decided to look at just a very small part of it called the receptor binding domain. Now, most of the companies weren't actually looking at it because it's so small. They wanted to develop a vaccine fast. But what we found out was it was actually the site of many potent neutralizing antibodies. And so it had actually been proven safe from many side effects. So if we focused on this alone, we could actually develop a vaccine. Although it would be a little bit slower, it would actually be much more safe and more efficacious. So we basically looked at many peer-reviewed studies and found out the most reputed machine learning algorithms that were there for predicting protein structures. And we used those to predict these epitopes. Basically, these are specific sites on the protein that can be useful in a vaccine. Now, after predicting those, we actually evaluated all of them through all of these thorough criteria, such as how much population they could cover, whether they could elicit antibodies, and all kinds of different things. And so what we came up with was these 7 different protein sequences. These consisted of 5 B-cell epitopes and 8 T-cell epitopes. Now, this is really important because this means that we could develop a very favorable and balanced immune response, which is really critical to prevent any side effects. Also, one of our main goals of our study was that we wanted to ensure that our vaccine would be useful for people all across the globe. And because what oftentimes ends up happening is that sometimes a vaccine, because of the genetic differences between populations across the globe, a vaccine may not be as effective in one area as another. However, we were able to overcome this challenge and achieve 99.96% global population coverage. So we were able to predict all of these different candidates which would make a good vaccine. However, this was all done computationally, and we can't really share all of our results to other pharmaceuticals and research groups to make a vaccine until we actually validate all of our results 100% through experimental tests. And that is why I'm seeking this $10,000 funding to conduct these 4 specific tests, which will be used to validate our results. The first part is actually going to be synthesizing the protein. So we have all of the actual exact peptide sequence already modeled in the computer. All we have to do is send it to the commercial vendor called GenScript, and they'll be actually providing us with the actual protein. And now at UTHSC, we already have the resources and infrastructure ready for purifying this protein and extracting the exact sequences that we need. Once we have that, then we can actually run the immune response assays. This will actually tell us whether our selected protein can actually generate antibodies. So first thing we'll be doing is binding it against this MHC protein. This will be very helpful to tell us what kind of immune response it would actually develop. The second part is we're taking a unique approach by using actual convalescent plasma that's going to be donated to the UTHSC biocontainment lab. And because we are using convalescent plasma, we can actually measure how our proposed vaccine would do and whether it can actually bind to antibodies and so generate them. So now, if all of our studies prove successful, then we can move on to the next phase of the project, which is actually conducting immunization tests in mice. So we'll be submitting all of our useful data to the University of Tennessee biocontainment lab, and they'll be actually performing this immunization test and following all the safety protocols and the ethical guidelines. And with that data, what we can actually do is we can actually look at whether our vaccine was able to generate neutralizing antibodies, and so if it would be a good target for use in humans. And so throughout all of this process, we have the full support of the UTHSC infectious diseases team led by Dr. Dale. I've already established a channel with him as we work through these computational stages of the project. And now for the experimental stage of the project, we also have an agreement with the UTHSC Biocontainment Laboratory, and they'll be providing all of their services to us, and also will be ready for any additional support that we would need. Now, how is the money exactly going to be used? Well, this $10,000 are going to be used for those 4 different tests, as I mentioned. Additionally, we also have $3,200 for any additional, or if you want to repeat any experiments. So basically, what's the big takeaway from my project? Why should you invest in my project when there are all of these different pharmaceuticals conducting their own vaccine candidates? Well, it's because of the uniqueness of our project when it comes to exactly what structure we picked and our methods. See, we picked a very unique computational approach, which allowed us to actually look at the vaccine in a very different format and consider all the different side effects, which we could not otherwise analyze if we had used the traditional approach. also, because we were looking at this very specific protein called the receptor binding domain, we were able to eliminate many side effects that could have happened if we had used a larger protein. And we are the only research team, and none of the actual major 100 or so candidates that are in clinical trials, none of them are actually using this receptor binding domain to generate a vaccine. And so because of this, we can actually minimize the side effects. And if we are all successful, then we'll be able to generate a vaccine that will be more effective in the long run. Thank you.
Thank you, Harshi. Right on time. You had 2. All right. Next up, we have Joseph Zhang, who was mentored as well by Yusuf Agil. Joseph, take it away, and I will begin your time when you start. Looks good.
All right. Can everyone see and hear me?
We can.
All right. So I'll get started then. Imagine after working 40 years of your life in bettering the community and working hard for the community to create a better community, for the community just to toss you out the door. This is what 1 in every 3 seniors in the world feel. They feel this extreme loneliness that happens once they retire. In fact, after the age of 65, the depression rates and suicide rates among the seniors spike up, which is why this is one of the reasons why I ended up creating an organization that helped provide entertainment for the seniors all those years back. And so in 7th grade, I decided to create an organization that provides entertainment for the seniors. One of the key reasons why was because my grandmother raised me until I was 5. So I always developed this great relationship with my grandmother. And so that's why we created an organization called Joy Music. Since then, since it's in the original inception with 4 people, it has exploded into growth to becoming a global organization with multiple functions that help provide more than just entertainment for the elderly. We've done most of this growth through community support, as well as local partnerships with local organizations and local elementary schools, and much, much more. Today, we're primarily going to focus on 3 main aspects of this organization. The first main aspect is what our primary mission is, which is to provide entertainment and music for the seniors. We do this in 3 ways. The first way is by providing live music for the seniors in senior living communities. We do this through musical productions, performances, and concerts. The second way is providing musical performances and engagements with the seniors living in isolated homes. Many of these seniors are much isolated, especially during the time of COVID. So we felt like they also needed this sense of community within them as well. And due to COVID, more recently having to scale back our in-person performances, we have also expanded onto a virtual platform in which we develop virtual music and we publish them, whether it's through YouTube, a cappella, or through our Instagram. And so you can see photos of that on your right. In the bottom right-hand corner right here is one of our events that we conducted last year to help fundraise for the seniors in the community. Last year, 98% of Nebraska got heavily flooded. And so a lot of seniors were affected and they needed some way to get back on their feet. We were part of an endeavor to help raise money for such seniors. And we actually ended up raising over $4,000 in one day to help the seniors get back on their feet and begin to live their life again. We have many impact zones aside from where I am currently, which is in Omaha, Nebraska. We are located across the U.S., including Los Angeles, Houston, Kansas City, Chicago, St. Louis, and along the East Coast. We are also located around the world in London, UK, Madrid, Spain, Rabat, Morocco, France, South Africa, China, as well as in Taiwan. So these are what we call impact zones. Our second main endeavor that we do is deliveries. We do deliveries both in terms of gift deliveries as well as the grocery deliveries, as many times seniors, especially during the age of COVID, cannot go outside their homes or are at super high risk when they go outside their homes. So we tend to make these deliveries for them. We also make special deliveries like the gift deliveries in, you can see on the left side here, these were Christmas presents that we decided to give to seniors over the holidays. On the right side right there is Valentine's Day gifts that we decided to give to seniors in our communities. In fact, we gave over 1,000 roses to the seniors in Omaha, with a little note just to wish them a good Valentine's Day and keep them in the community loop. And so this is where part of the funding of the 10,000 day grant will go to, is ensuring that we can continue making these deliveries to the seniors and ensuring that they continue to remain a part of our community. The third, in addition to these deliveries, we also have letter writing campaigns that we conduct, as many times seniors will also receive notes with their gifts. Sometimes they'll receive personalized letters, sometimes they'll receive a general letter, sometimes they'll receive a personalized video link that will link to a video of a volunteer that was assigned to them to create for them a video greeting. Many of these letters and greetings come from around the world, including from sometimes seniors in Omaha will get greetings from, say, volunteers in China or volunteers in Spain. More recently, in the past year, we've been able to partner with local elementary schools, especially in Omaha, with Aldridge Elementary, to promote volunteerism within the elementary schools, as well as get more volunteers to write these letters for the seniors, as well as help establish a pipeline in which we actually provide music mentorship for these people. So we've been able to establish an effective pipeline that pipelines volunteers from local elementary schools who are interested in music to assign them music mentors. And then, so they start with musical education with music mentors. And then after they reach a certain level, we then pass them along to private teachers. And these private teachers will help continue to develop their music education. If they can't afford these private teachers, we sometimes take the difference. We subsidize the difference so they can continue their music education. And the goal is for them to get a scholarship at the nearby university. This pipeline so far only exists in Omaha, and this is where the rest of the $10,000 grant will go to, is trying to establish these pipelines in Taiwan and also in our branches around the world. We also have a public speaking mentorship program in which youth are offered to engage the public in public speaking endeavors, helping them overcome their fear with public speaking. And so that is a general overview of what our organization does. And you can find more information about us on our website or on our 3 virtual platforms that we publish things and virtual music and virtual engagements on. I wanted to really thank NSHSS for this opportunity. And I also want to thank Joseph Ben Agen for his mentorship throughout this entire process. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Joseph. Excellent work. Thank you. Next up, we have Ashkan Jawani, who is mentored by Malika Morgan.
Okay.
Ashkan, when you're ready, I will start your time.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Ashkan Jawani, and I am 15 years old. And today I'm going to be talking to you guys about a project called Roads That Generate Electricity and the sustainability behind it. The overview of the project is that sustainable development is a new concept in our world right now because of the population growth and our energy demand going up exponentially. You can see in the chart on the right that the primary energy consumption chart has gone up exponentially from the year 1800 to the year 2019. This is because we use so many new technologies now that we need to generate electricity as well as save our planet. This is where the piezoelectric sensor comes in. A prototype of the project is shown on the right side of the screen. A piezoelectric sensor is basically whenever you apply pressure to the sensor, it will generate some electricity that can be converted into DC voltage so that it can be stored into a capacitor using a bridge rectifier. We would use all this energy to charge up streetlights in the prototype, but in the future could be used to charge up everything in the world. The implementation of this project would be with cement-based piezoelectric materials. The first layer would be fine gravel and sand content, and then a thin layer of asphalt would be laid, which would be like a strong base for the generators so that they don't have that much space to move around, so that they can still generate electricity very efficiently. The piezoelectric generators or sensors are placed in quick-drying concrete themselves, and then will be wired in series to generate collective output and then be used towards whatever it needs to be used against. In this case, the car driving on the right side of the picture would generate electricity, and then be used for charging up streetlights so we can increase the safety of the drivers and the people walking. The environmental aspects and sustainability about this project is that it is very inexpensive and it's easy to install because it's a one-time expense, because every time, the one time you put in the piezo sensor under the road, it will pay itself off because how much ever energy you generate in a couple years, it pays itself off because you don't have to pay taxes for public properties that have electricity. Nowadays, there's a coronavirus pandemic going on, and a lot of people have lost their jobs, and people who still have their jobs are making less money than they usually were supposed to. This could help them a lot because they would have to pay less taxes for public properties using electricity if they only had to pay it one time when the coronavirus pandemic wouldn't hit. This energy would enlighten roadways as well as improving the pedestrian safety, and it has low maintenance like I mentioned before, and it functions in all weather conditions. Considering the information by the EPA, 1 kilometer of pavement length or any type of concrete or a road, for example, with piezoelectric sensors would contribute to reduce 53 kilograms of carbon dioxide per hour, which not only will help us in the future, but the carbon dioxide that we made in the past by using fossil fuels such as coal and gas, it would help cut that down too, because the energy generated right now with the piezo sensor is with 0 greenhouse gas emissions. The value and potential of this, as you can see on the right side of the screen, this just doesn't have to be under a road. It can be under sidewalks, tiles, carpets, or any type of floor types. You could use this project anywhere in the world, even less developed countries, because if they don't have cars in their countries, they still have people who walk or people who run who could still generate electricity, so that less developed countries can also have electricity now, because we're such in the future now. California, as you guys all know, is a very big state, and there's a lot of houses there. There's a lot of roads and highways. According to research done, if piezoelectric sensors were placed under like half a mile of highway, it could power 5,000 homes, as well as Las Vegas, which is a very good spot for tourists because everybody just comes to America and they know certain places. Like they know what Las Vegas is, they know what San Francisco is. And thousands of people walk on it every single day, where the strip is in Las Vegas, where there's hotels and casinos and other scenery. If all that mechanical movement could be converted into electricity, we could help them generate the electricity that they need. Private health and fitness clubs could install piezoelectric sensors under their floors and be known as eco-friendly, health-conscious, but as well as save money and improve their economy and the world's economy, because a lot of ads and brands talk about how they're very energy efficient nowadays. With the $10,000, I wouldn't be able to make an actual road, as you guys would know. I could make an architectural design with asphalt, concrete, sand, and bigger and more piezo sensors, specifically commercial piezo sensors, because they generate more electricity than the more like smaller ones that I'm using in my prototype. It would also have details of each connection, proportions of each measurement, and an estimate of the needed expense. So like how thick or thin everything is and the rate of each material. Hopefully this project could obtain a patent so that it can be used to use as a model to make the actual piezoelectric road, like for example, outside our houses. And the $10,000 would be a proof of concept that this project could work in the real world, and it could be used in roads, tiles, and different types of floors like carpets in our own homes. To conclude, sustainability is one of the more newer degrees in our world, because we didn't really think about this in the past because our population was kind of controlled and our technological advancement weren't that much. Nowadays, we have so much technological advancement and so much population. We need to help the environment by reducing air pollution, as well as generating enough electricity to make energy for our more technological advances that we're going to have in the future. And lastly, I would like to show you guys my actual model, which is right here. And you can see the houses, the trees, and the car itself. The cars would essentially drive over, and if I were to lift this up, you can see the actual piezo sensors and all the connections on top of it. I mean, underneath it, that's the circuit board. And then at night, when we need the light, we can just turn on the street lights, and they will turn on because all the energy generated goes into a rechargeable battery. And that was my project. I would like to thank NSHSS for this amazing opportunity, and Ms. Malika Morgan for the amazing mentorship that she gave me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ashkan. Right on time, 1 second left. Excellent work. Next up, we have Mr. Benjamin Barron, who was mentored by Brian Willett. Benjamin, take us away.
Okay, thank you. So I'm gonna go start and share my screen. Can you guys see it? Wait, okay. You guys should be able to see it now. Can you guys see it?
Yes, we can.
All right. So you guys could see my cursor too. I'm moving it around right now.
Yes, we can see it.
All right. Hello, my name is Benjamin Barron, and I'm a junior in high school, and I'm addressing the opioid crisis. Our nation is facing an opioid overdose epidemic. In 2017, 47,000 people died of opioid overdose in the US. This equates to 130 Americans dying every single day. A recent report indicates that COVID-19 has caused the opioid epidemic to become even more deadly. More than 40 states have reported an increase in opioid-related mortality. According to the American Psychiatric Association, nearly 1 in 3 people know somebody who's addicted to opioids. Opioids are medications that doctors prescribe for pain, like hydrocodone and fentanyl. People could die even after one prescription because of the interactions with other medications or with alcohol. Some people get opioids illegally in the black market, and others die in the hospital because of opioids for pain relief after their surgery. This lady over here died in the hospital because a nurse turned off the alarms because she was tired of listening to them beeping, and she unfortunately died because of that. Naloxone is an antagonist to the opioid in the brain, and it will reverse opioid toxicity. As you can see here, this is naloxone. It's also known as Narcan, and it has a high affinity to the brain receptor, so it actually blocks away the opioids over here. Naloxone is extremely safe. It is administered by first responders when they suspect an overdose right at the scene. That is the first thing that they do. It is even available at some schools. But there's a very big problem with naloxone. The problem is that somebody needs to find the victim and then recognize that they're overdosed. And then they'd have to have that naloxone with them to actually administer it and save their life. The solution is what my project is about. I want to design and construct a device that will be used by opioid users as well as patients who are prescribed opioids in the hospital setting. The device would rapidly auto-deliver naloxone in case of an accidental overdose. In the first phase of my project, I formulated a transdermal naloxone and assessed absorption using a high-performance liquid chromatography machine, also known as an HPLC machine. These pictures show me developing the naloxone cream and running it through an HPLC machine, and this is the process of how an HPLC machine works. For the first part of my project, I also designed and tested a prototype of a wearable device and demonstrated using an Arduino microcontroller, I was able to detect bradycardia, also known as slow heart rate, which is a sign of opioid overdose. It would send a message to the screen, and if there's no response, it would engage a solenoid and push down a platform. This is me actually developing the first prototype, and in the bottom, this is me, the final prototype, and the screen here would ask if the person is okay. If the person responds to the device, it would, the device would assume, if the person didn't respond to the device, the device would assume that the person is overdosed and administer them naloxone. And it would administer naloxone using a solenoid over here. I'm just gonna skip to around here where I zoom in a little bit. You could see the solenoid pushing up and down. It will just engage once and administer them naloxone. For the next step of my project, I would like to design and test a separate device that would be worn on the upper arm so it would be much more comfortable and discreet rather than being on the wrist. The picture shows a person wearing a continuous sensor in a Fitbit or an Apple Watch. My device will look similar, but it will only be attached to the skin and not actually inserted into the skin like this sensor is. The device would receive signals from a wrist-worn device or a hospital monitoring device for hospitals via Bluetooth. I'd like to test the use of a solenoid versus springs to release a platform and push naloxone into the microneedle arrays. And I would like to test the construction to make it sturdier and make results much more reproducible and consistent. I would also like to program the device to connect via Bluetooth to oximeters and capnometers, which are devices used to measure carbon dioxide, and they are currently being used in hospitals. It was an incredible honor to receive the NSH SS Passion Award last year and meet Mr. Nobel. Thanks to your generous support, I was able to buy supplies to finish my first prototype. With the grant money, I would like to purchase these following supplies to continue my project. In the interest of time, I could discuss it more in detail if you have any questions later. And I think it's important to highlight my qualifications. So you could rest assured I'm very knowledgeable and that the money I receive will be put into good use quickly and efficiently. I'm very strong in math and science, and I'm currently learning artificial intelligence and mathematical modeling to develop my device. I urge you to support my project because it offers incredible opportunities for world betterment. Death due to opioid overdose devastates families and entire communities. We have a miraculous treatment, but we're missing one crucial step: automation. This young mother is addicted to opioids got addicted to opioids in a high school party and unfortunately died at a very young age. Curtis was addicted to prescription opioids and was in and out of rehab trying to overcome his addiction. This obituary was requesting that in lieu of flowers, to please write your state representative and plead with them to make naloxone available over the counter. Let's take it a step further and make naloxone available automatically in any case of opioid overdose discreetly and effectively. These faces are a snapshot of the devastating opioid epidemic sweeping across the United States. Many succumbed to opioids were full of hope and promise. They served our country in the armed forces. They were high school students, college students, aspiring athletes, chefs, auto mechanics, and talented celebrities. They include incredible musicians like Prince, who composed a background song that I used, Purple Rain. The victims represent the unfortunate children who are going to grow up and go through life without a loving parent. They represent the unbearable anguish of parents who lost a child. By awarding me this grant, we could work together to save thousands of lives. We could raise awareness to this devastating epidemic. We could prevent entire communities from enduring the loss caused by inadequate access to a life-saving treatment. Together, we can make sure that no one else dies of opioid overdose. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Benjamin. Excellent timing. Thank you so much. Next up, we have David Tatao, who was mentored by Charles Green Sr. David joining us from Australia. Take it away.
Okay, could you please just confirm that you can see the presentation and hear?
Yes, we can.
Fantastic. I'd like everyone here to reflect back on a time where you or someone you know struggled with mental health. After my parents separated, my dad fell into a deep suicidal depression. He tried a number of conventional therapies, such as seeing his GP, taking medication, and even psychology sessions. However, none of these pathways offered any improvements to his mental health. It wasn't until he was recommended dancing classes in his local community, which helped him feel a true sense of belonging, that he was able to recover sooner and feel better again. Inspired by this story, my problem statement is this: the lack of preventative, non-medical intervention for anxiety and depression leads to improper treatment and aggravated mental health outcomes. Now, why is that? This conventional prescription-first treatment model for mental health is completely flawed, leading to a greater economic burden and ineffective health outcomes for many people. Almost 40 million prescriptions were given to just over 4 million patients last year, with almost half feeling dissatisfied with their treatment. You can't take a pill to cure poverty and racism, nor will a pill address mental health. This is a social justice issue. So this is where WeLink comes in. It addresses these problems through the concept of lived experience and community connection. This refers to the connection of people with link workers who themselves have gone through the same struggles, promoting a much deeper empathetic connection. And by providing non-medical intervention through social activities, as we've already seen in the UK with social prescribing, people recover much faster than the ones treated with medication alone. Our vision is this: a society which supports and values all of its people on their journey to positive mental health and well-being. Our mission is to pursue excellence in the affordable provision of preventative, non-medical intervention to all Australians suffering from anxiety and depression. So how do we do it? Developed by the community for the community, WeLink evaluates the whole host of socioeconomic factors and past experiences which have shaped someone's well-being, and uses this information to partner them with a link worker of shared experience. They can then appropriately refer them to social activities such as dancing classes or enabling services like financial assistance. WeLink is the friendliest way to support your mental health. One tap and you're connected with a professional who has shared your same lived experience. They don't try to diagnose or solve, but rather listen and offer guidance. Then upon request, they can introduce you to relevant and beneficial social initiatives in your local community. The app allows you to completely customize your profile with your own needs and interests and collate your own dashboard of support resources. You can easily browse events in your community and even self-refer to them. This promotes a culture of self-care and independence. For those that do want to speak to someone, our professionally trained link workers are just a call or text away. Meet Kevin, a 24-year-old man who lives alone in Carlton and works in hospitality. The pandemic has left him without a job, he gained weight and felt more isolated than ever. Kevin was also experiencing symptoms of mild depression and anxiety and spent hundreds of dollars on medications and consultations with no success. Kevin downloaded WeLink on his phone. He customized his profile and connected with Maxine, a link worker who used to also work in hospitality. She got to know Kevin and provided personalized guidance virtually. They then worked together to identify the most relevant social activities based on his profile and needs. Kevin felt empowered to get better, connecting with his community through yoga sessions and cooking classes. Maxine then followed up with Kevin and reevaluated his condition to offer extra support if needed. But Kevin reported feeling more active through yoga and developed new friendships in cooking class. His symptoms of anxiety and depression dissipated while he spent just a mere fraction of what he used to on clinical treatment. Our target market is 18 to 25-year-olds of all genders that are digital native and concerned about their mental health. 5.3 million Australians in this age bracket experienced a mental disorder in 2007, and this number has dramatically grown since then. The most accurate data pre-pandemic revealed that with a conservative market share of 5%, over 50,000 residents in Melbourne can benefit from our platform. The severe impact COVID has had on our mental health means this initiative has never been more important. WeLink stands out amongst existing competitors with high value for money and high accessibility. But what truly distinguishes us from other support services like Headspace and Beyond Blue is the treatment pathway. Instead of referring users to costly services like GPs and specialists, we adopt an affordable, community-based approach. But in order to make this affordable to everyone, we evaluated the current treatment cost of mental health in Australia. The average psychologist will charge you $143. Factor in a rebate and your out-of-pocket expense will be $21 per visit at best. Add to that the cost of medication and it quickly becomes a very expensive treatment. Instead, we offer our services at only $20 per session, and if you feel like you need to access it more than 3 times, then the monthly subscription is only $60. Our revenue model has taken into account this subscription payment, and using conservative values for the number of clients, this table reflects a very sustainable income, which we expect to grow as the organization scales and community awareness develops. If we are to be successful, the grant money will be hugely beneficial in running digital marketing campaigns on social media to educate, raise awareness, and acquire users. The rest will go towards safeguarding privacy and confidentiality, legal costs associated with liability and incorporation, as well as product development and operations. But none of this could be possible without our dedicated team with a background in biomedicine, digital healthcare, cybersecurity, and software development, all powered by a shared lived experience of mental health challenges. So why are you here? The reason I wanted you to hear my pitch is so you can get involved. You could be an investor, a partner, or a customer, or you could be none of them. But what you can do is be a part of this movement. So if you'd like to take part in this healthcare revolution to help us reconnect with each other during and after this dreadful pandemic is over, please get in touch. Thank you everyone for listening, and a big thank you to NSHSS, Charles Green, Ben Smith, and Scott Bryans.
Thank you, David. Right on time. Excellent work. Next up, we have Nasia Israel, who is mentored by Brenna Rao. Nasia?
Yes. Hi, can you see me?
Yes,
okay, I'm going to get my screen shared here. All right. Welcome everyone to my presentation on my nonprofit and passion project, Canary Academy Online. But before we get into my business, I wanted to share with you a little bit about myself. Number one, I'm an incoming sophomore at Liberty University, so go Flames. I'm also an aspiring educator with a love for educating young students from disadvantaged communities. I'm also an entrepreneur, innovator, and philanthropist. And I'm also a homeschool graduate who's worked extensively within my community to foster awareness on homeschooling. And I'm also class of 2020. Let's get into the common problem. Put yourself into the shoes of a homeschool student. Every homeschool student understands the importance of their parents' or guardians' roles in their academic success, as well as their success in life. These parents have to handle all administrative and instructional duties associated with their education. But there's been a lack of one location for all of these resources, and there's also been a lack of affordability when these resources are made available. Let's look at a scenario. In 2017, my mom became a full-time homeschool teacher. She was a full-time homeschool teacher, but she also acquired a new full-time job. And my brother was just coming into middle school. As both of these transitions collided, it made it difficult for my mom to continue her normal routine, which was handling all of the homeschooling for both me and my brother in 2 separate grades. We made it work, but it wasn't easy, and this was mainly due to a lack of guidance and support. My brother had been through 6 different curriculum options throughout the first half of middle school, and none of them had successfully worked on their own. Talk about frustrating. My mom felt like she spent hours working on creating something that was still a hit and miss scenario at the end of the day. So I knew there had to be a solution in existence. And really, I found out there wasn't. According to edweek.org, 76% of families feel that homeschooling is effective and that virtual learning is on the rise even after COVID. But there are still large numbers of families all over the internet and social media who are frustrated with current homeschooling methods. And the question we should be asking is why, especially considering the fact that homeschool students make up almost 4% of all school-age students within the last decade. That's approximately 2.5 million homeschool students in the US alone, and those numbers continue to rise during COVID. That's where Canary Academy comes in. We're the solution. We want to be the one-stop shop for everything homeschool. Our platform helps parents understand the homeschooling process and gives parents access to things that our competitors won't, like professional development, assistance with record keeping, information on laws and legislation relative to your state, assistance with curriculum planning and differentiated instruction, and a full growing library of resources from our partners to make homeschooling more than a breeze. Let's talk to you about the business. If I could describe my nonprofit in one sentence, it would be that Canary Academy is an innovative e-learning provider and homeschool resource center, which provides you with state-of-the-art online curriculum and numerous resources for parents, guardians, and students alike at an affordable price. Now you may ask, why is this my passion project? Well, the truth is, ever since I was a little girl, I've always wanted to change the world. I dreamed of being anything from a police officer to a firefighter to a doctor because I thought that those things and those things alone would help change the world. And while those careers do have large impacts on society, I found my purpose to be in education. And as I said, it began with helping my brother with the solution to his problem in middle school. But from there it spread, and more people within my community started asking me to make courses and supplemental instruction for them. And that's when the light bulb hit. Now I want to dominate the curriculum industry, or at least make a good dent. And I want to give homeschool families everywhere the best, while keeping it affordable and accessible to as many as possible. Some of my main goals include increasing the effectiveness of differentiated instruction. Basically, I want students to be able to apply what they're learning through school and be able to think for themselves, instead of just memorizing rote rehearsal facts, like most other accredited programs do, and other competitors. Here are examples of my curriculum that I've been developing through the Canvas LMS platform by Instructure, compatible with all mobile and desktop devices. Now, why are we unique? Number one, we're the only company that's both student-oriented and family-oriented. Unlike our competition, Abeka Academy, Acellus Academy, and others, we allow families to customize the curriculum that we offer, so nothing's set in stone. And we're affordable, yet high quality, with sliding scale prices to help families in need. So most curriculums range anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 per year. We want to keep our prices under $1,000 per year. We also want to offer discounts for essential workers and religious leaders of numerous communities, and instructional support services like tutoring and academic advising, as well as clubs and student activities for students to be able to give back for world betterment. And our most unique feature is our database, which finds and creates individualized curriculum plans for each student, streamlining the process of finding and using homeschool curricula, because often there's so much for parents to choose from, they don't know where to start. Now, what are our future plans? First, we want to become a fully registered nonprofit by 2021, as well as pilot our first programs. We want to create volunteer programs and hire our first set of staff by 2022, as well as attend our first national homeschool convention. And we want to develop our online library and create more community partnerships by 2023. We also want to become fully accredited by 2024. Now, with all of these amazing ideas, what's our marketing plan? Basically, we want to do everything we can to get the word out, include attending homeschool conventions, posting to our blog, releasing our how-to podcast, partnering with more organizations like the Homeschool Legal Defense Association, posting ads in homeschool magazines and websites, releasing commercials to the public, spreading through word of mouth, and using direct-to-consumer ads, as well as producing our own newsletter. Now, the last thing that I want to cover is why you should choose me. Number one, my nonprofit is sustainable because it builds off of an existing market that's already proven profitable and needed within the homeschool community. Number two, we're built by homeschool students. Three, for homeschool students. And four, it's tested by homeschool families, and their input helps create our nonprofit. And lastly, I know the market well because I've lived it, I've experienced it, and I've spent years studying it to find this solution. And that is my wow factor. Thank you so much for watching my presentation, and thank you NSHSS for this wonderful opportunity. My website's canaryacademyonline.wordpress.com. Thanks again for watching.
Excellent work, Nasia. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Alessandro De La Torre, who is mentored by Laura Amortigai. Alessandro, join us.
All right. Hello, everyone. I am Alessandro De La Torre. A little bit of background about me. I live in Los Angeles, California, sunny LA, and I'm a first-year student at Whittier College, which is a small liberal arts college in Southern California. Now, I'm going to be honest. I, like a lot of other students in the world, right when the pandemic started, were thinking, I have all this time on my hands. What am I going to do with it? And I read a New York Times article, and they said that they're estimating 200,000 new nonprofits were going to be made from then till December. And we're almost at that mark. We're at 198,000 new nonprofits that were made ever since the beginning of March. And I was thinking to myself, what could I include in this world that hasn't been done before that could build upon this new era of nonprofits that are made to help marginalized students? So then I identified a main problem that I saw. There are currently more than 10 million students in the United States and globally who don't have access to vital education tools when they're aiming to achieve a higher education within the United States. And there's one reason. It comes at a price tag. Whether it be discounted or full price, it is a price tag nonetheless. So Rizio compelled creators from all over the United States to give a one-stop hub for nearly every EDU tool absolutely for free. No dime a dozen. So this is what we specifically do. Currently, I found a nonprofit from Florida, which has a daily college prep podcast, and we're now working with them, and now they're within our application to serve for free. We also have a personal API with scholarships that's available nationwide. And a little note about personalized scholarships. Ever since my freshman year of public high school, I knew that I wanted to apply to a new scholarship per day. And I found out that 1 in every 5 scholarships isn't actually real. It's actually a data mine in order to collect your information and to attack marginalized students in getting their information to prey upon them for more services. And I recognized that this was an issue. So then I created with United Nations an API that would create and make sure that every single scholarship that you apply to would be safe and will not harvest your information. Next up, I created a monthly MacBook giveaway, which is fully sustainable within the application through advertisements held within the app. Next, I found a way to get unlimited textbook answers without paying a premium fee at all within the app for free once again. And I also partnered with a Russian nonprofit, which has every single book in the world for free for a PDF that you can download right now. And upon that, I also partnered with another Floridian nonprofit that gives thousands of free study guides to any single student that needs it in public school or private school, all for free. And here are our current partners. So mind you, remember, I did start it in March and I've gotten this far and I'm really proud of it. The first partner we made is with the United Nations Development Program. I knew for a fact that if I wanted this to be big and if I wanted this to impact globally, I needed to get the support of the United Nations. And I eventually got the support of Kelly Craft. If you do not know who Kelly Craft is, she is the current Secretary Liaison for the United States, elected via the Senate. And I got in direct contact with her, and now we are looking to create a curriculum that is directly correlated to College Board. So whenever College Board is recommended 2 nationwide public schools. Rizio will be right under it. The next we connected with is Forward.us, and it's a social activism group. Now, not a lot of people know who Forward.us is, but they do know who the founder is, and that founder is Mark Zuckerberg. I was blessed in order to talk to Mark Zuckerberg and the COO to see if we can partner and create something more for the next years to come. And we did, and now they're currently partnering with us to make sure that this invention, which hasn't been invented before in the past, to stay like this and to grow and to continue to grow for years to come. The next step we came is partnering with the County of Los Angeles in California, my county. Now, County of Los Angeles is notorious, or better well known, for having so many celebrities and iconic figures living within it. And now we're currently partnering with JLo, and we're going to partner with JLo in order to spread the word about Rizio to students all throughout public schools in Southern California. And up next, we have the support of the United States Senate. Chuck Schumer himself personally applauded me in their meeting over the summer about the new invention of Rizio. And he personally wants to extend my thankings to the NSHSS for having this opportunity. Now, specifically, what makes us different? Well, currently we are the biggest and strongest back Jumpstart platform of any EDU background in American history. And you don't have to take a bet to see if this idea will be effective or not, because most Shark Tank-esque events have you take a bet, have you take a chance investing that money in to see if it'll work or not. But it has been working for the past 2 months. And over the past 2 months, we've had 50,000 students come on, join the application, and use it. Every given second, 200 students are currently using the app as we speak. And the third is that it's completely self-sustaining. All integrated APIs update themselves weekly and will do so forever. So I do not need to be present, nor my partner who's creating this. We do not need to be present for it to continue to exist. Our room to grow. .edu democratization through access channels. I did mention briefly that I was part of public school system, and ever since I was in kindergarten, I grew up in public school. So when I came into a private institution for university, I realized there was a huge disparity between me and my partners who were in private school their entire life. And I knew for a fact that if I had the resources that the Rizio app had when I was even last year, I knew that I would be on almost equal standing with them to get into college, to have a smoother college transition. And specifically, if any of you guys have an iPhone right now, you can go ahead and pull out within the App Store and look up Rizio. It is currently available in the App Store, and I encourage you guys to join. If you have a daughter or son that is currently in a public school or private school and that's looking to graduate into college, make sure to let them know that this app does exist and all these resources will be free for them forever. You can see our motto right there. We aim to boost education with free tools forever. And to quickly talk about the expenditure list, you notice that every single expenditure that we have on this is just merely server hosting and domain hosting. That is because everything will be fully autonomous as it has been for the entire time of its existence. Every single penny will go towards automation. I've been paying out of my own pocket, but in the future, if I do get this grant, it will sustain itself for years to come. Thank you.
Right on time, Alessandro. Excellent job. Next up, and this is our halfway point of presenters. Next up is Andrea Soto Romero, who is mentored by Christine Fish. Join us, Andrea. And Alessandro, if you would turn your camera off, please. Thank you so much.
Okay, so good afternoon. My name is Andrea Soto. I am the founder, creator, and CEO of G. I want you to think back to your childhood and channel that feeling. Deep down, we all want to be remembered as something more than merely ordinary. I've always loved the idea of not being what people expect me to be. And a few years after being called out by my parents for singing inappropriate lyrics to popular songs, I began producing pop and upbeat music. Having been a victim of society's influence made me feel a responsibility lying in front of me that led to the creation of the 7 characters that integrate G, a virtual band for children with original music and value-driven lyrics. These characters come from a planet far away called Primui, and they are ready to transform us into ambassadors of positive change. Our efforts in collaboration with the producer led to the creation of 4 albums with more than 35 original songs. The songs have included lyrics concerning friendship, taking care of the world, anti-bullying, self-love, and the pursuit of goals, among other positive topics. Our next song was part of our anti-bullying campaign, where 11-year-old Maite Hernandez won our contest in Mexico to find the voice for the song after identifying with our social initiative to transmit a message of harmonious coexistence and empowerment among children. With Billboard Top 40 and media-based charts recognition, great reviews from sources as Fox News, Popstar Magazine, numerous blogs, Líderes Latinos, and Líderes Mexicanos, Elliott Media, and our most recent partnership with Cinema Giants and the Flow Lab. Over 1 million views on YouTube, a growing fan base of over 130,000 people, Mr. and Mrs. Obama's recognition, the opportunity to be selected for Shark Tank, and witnessing how families around the world connect with our mission, we continue to be motivated to make a genuine impact in the world. Service projects have been crucial in furthering the essence of our project. Our characters have become the faces of several humanitarian events and help represent various nonprofit organizations. In April of 2016, we gifted Mascots for a Cure, an organization that helps childhood cancer patients, our song Expect for Miracles, and became inspired to continue pairing our songs to special causes. Expect for miracles, if you believe you'll make it. This life is cyclical, rebuild your faith and rise again. Moving forward, we seek to collaborate with more nonprofit organizations, as we have done in the past with the University Health System, the Philadelphia Children's Hospital, TEDx, Fundación Cinépolis, and Kidcation. At the end of the day, G will continue to draw emphasis to our foundational belief that the world has unconsciously made it a better place for children when we should be working to make better children for our world. Aside from the music, picture book, licensing, educational aids, and merchandising opportunities, I want to say we do hold a patent in the United States, Latin America, Europe, and Asia, and we see augmented and virtual reality features as well as other diverse opportunities for the project. But right now, we're directing all of our efforts into developing a cartoon series to go along with a contest to find the new voices on demand within our app. So the scholarship breakdown will be in 3 sections. The cartoon and online contest at 37%, publicity, both exterior and online, at 16% of total revenue, and lastly, 47% will be utilized to finance the new album and for further creative content development, which will include, on a short-term basis, partnerships with firehouses, police departments, orphanages, and refugee camps, humanitarian events with our 2021 album releases, virtual community involvement, and on a long term, we plan on having a subscription-based children's Forbes-style magazine, rewards program, and advertisement space within our app. We have our nutrition and exercise initiative with our in-app game and extracurricular activities, where we will have programs that nonprofit organizations, orphanages, and school districts will be able to partner with us. We have our education and innovation initiative with the Creators Incubator, which will give children who have overcome the impossible and found their purpose a space to take it to the next level. And that will be through our networking and connections, and will empower children to drive their projects forward. We have our accessibility initiative with the Giving Back is Our Beat Band, where we will be giving out resources to communities that don't have access to them. And lastly, we have our mental health initiative, which is our biggest venture yet, with the Friend and Me hotline. Right now, we know that 160,000 children refuse to go to school due to bullying, and 10% will actually drop out. So you ask, why now? We have found that 75% of school shootings have been linked to bullying. And in the US alone, 43% of suicide attempt hospital visits are children ages 5 to 11. These obviously raises questions in saying, have we done enough? And do we have specific suicide prevention strategies for children in elementary school? So this is where the Friend of Me hotline comes in, seeking to create a safe space, safety net, and built-in community within our app. This is an epidemic the world has failed to address. And we know that youth mental health and safety are the backbone of our future. We want to continue to share our vision with the world because we want to create this collective worldwide consciousness that seeks to direct our societies in a positive direction. Due to the global pandemic we are faced with today, in addition to current polemic events occurring around the world, we know it is both a relevant and important time to carry out this virtual project, as most individuals are looking to hold on to hope while remaining at home. We know that by motivating the youngest among us, we can aid in recognizing the shared humanity inside everyone while appreciating differences and moving away from projection. Through all art that encompasses substantial themes, audiences around the world can become aware of detrimental conducts. Right now, most bullying occurs in grades 4 through 8, with 90% of students being harassed or bullied, and only 4 out of those 10 students will report it to an adult. And this is the age sector that G caters to, so we cannot imagine children not being able to enjoy their childhood in a healthy manner, which is why we trust it as a great moment to come together to express and create better to make a difference in the world. Having had the opportunity to create G has made me aware of the uniqueness that allows us as humans to stand up for something and not just stand by. We live under a society that takes pride in placing restrictions and standards, accepting a follower attitude, and ceasing to be opportunists. However, as a society, we must refuse to be hypnotized by a distortion of reality, robbing us from innovation, involvement, and empathy. Everything in regard, I believe all of us feel strongly about being the generation that changes the world, but it's up to us to create upon that and direct our own legacy.
That's time. Thank you so much, Andrea. Excellent job. Next up, we have JC Hall, who was mentored by Megan Bartelt. Join us, JC.
Let me share my screen here. Hello, I'm JC Hall, and I'm a freshman at the University of Iowa. I work with Royal Promise, a 501c3 nonprofit that works in Asikuma, Ghana. We answer the physical and spiritual needs of the most vulnerable through care and advocacy to make the disciples of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Overall, our goal is to become a self-sustaining organization that can yield a healthy community. In July of 2019, I went on a mission trip to Asikuma, Ghana. I met Julius, a 47-pound, 13-year-old. His frail lungs struggle to breathe and his feeble body vulnerable to unpropitious diseases, all a result of malnutrition and adversity plaguing the Asikuma community. In an area where healthcare access is 0 to none, succumbing to this disease is a result of micronutrient deficiencies attacking the body. These children deserve a future and one with prosperity. In order to survive, they need a solution, a sustainable source of protein, a poultry farm. Asikuma is a close-knit, poor community of roughly 5,000 residents. At Royal Promise, we are underfunded. Regardless, it is our duty to take care of our people. We care for 40 children that are orphans here at the Mission Center, and we staff 10 adults, all who we feed. On top of that, we have a Christian school with over 400 children from the Asikuma community. To depict the true poverty, it costs 55 CDs or $9.46 to attend school for the year. 30% of students are not able to afford the yearly school fee, yet we allow them to attend. This makes purchasing food supplies to feed every child and teacher difficult, as we are not meeting our yearly, nor are we meeting our monthly school maintenance dues. And lastly, we care for 15 women at our trade school. Investing $10,000 into a poultry farm will not only provide a sustainable source of protein-filled food supply, but will revive our struggling farm as well as become an educational resource for our children. Adding up the orphans, students, and staff in our care, we have around 440 individuals to feed daily. Estimating that a chicken produces 1 egg every 24 hours, we will purchase 500 chickens. This provides leeway in case a chicken does not produce an egg, so we're still able to feed every individual. On a return trip I made in January of 2020, I visited poultry farms in search of a layout that is best suited for our needs as well as the chickens. Here I've provided replicas of our intended deep litter poultry housing design, and our design is specific to protect the chickens from animals within the enclosed space. An egg is the most nutritious and sustainable way to combat hunger. Eggs provide a plethora of health benefits: improved energy production, muscle strength, brain health, skin health, and immune system functionality. Eggs also significantly reduce the risk of heart disease. Additionally, to combat calcium deficiencies such as cataracts, alterations in the brain, and osteoporosis within our orphans, we can use the eggshell for consumption. Calcium carbonate makes up more than 90% of an eggshell. So turning the eggshell into powder reaps benefits from a health standpoint and is environmentally conscious. Malnutrition significantly harms a child's life chances. Studies suggest that investing in nutrition at an early age procures health and economic benefits. These derive from the children's enhanced learning ability, which leads to furthered education, job security, and higher pay earnings. For this Asikuma community, education is the only pathway to eradicate poverty within its people. The future of these children is dependent on obliterating malnutrition for the best opportunity at educational success. A research study done by the Family Medicine Division in Thailand showed promising results on rural, malnourished children akin to our Aussie Kuma orphans. The study concluded that an addition of at least 3 eggs per week can effectively correct the problem of protein malnutrition among the primary school students at risk. Keep in mind, our goal is to provide all 440 individuals with 7 eggs a week with the opportunity to expand in the future. Currently, the Mission Center has a struggling maize and okra farm due to a lack in financial funds to purchase viable fertilizer. The poultry farm is critical in its survival as the chicken manure is a beneficial soil amendment. In fact, manure provides nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, adding organic matter and increasing the water holding capacity within the soil. The poultry farm would not only provide protein for the famished children, but would also bridge the gap, bestowing a prosperous field of healthy, nutritious crops. Subsidizing $10,000 into this poultry farm, the results will be tenfold. Within 3 months, the construction will be completed and we'll be producing 500 eggs a day. Additionally, we'll have hired a fully trained staff member who tends to the chickens. In 6 months, we predict the poultry farm will be fully sustainable. We'll employ students, teaching them how to tend to the poultry farm. And we view this not only as an educational opportunity, because keep in mind, this will provide job skills for the future. And with college being virtually unattainable due to poverty, this is crucial. But will also be profitable as we will be able to sell the extra eggs produced. The community has been forced to import chickens as there is not enough poultry farms to support the need. This is too costly, resulting in mass malnutrition not only within the children, but within the adults. And we need to obliterate this and put an end to it now. We will allow a small percentage of the profits to go back into the poultry farm, but we'll split the rest of the profits among the employed students. For the younger students, this can be viewed to teach them hands-on skills, disease prevention, which, as I mentioned, access to healthcare is lacking, so they need disease prevention, and circle of life, and the opportunities are truly endless. Our one-year goal is to invest in more chickens to expand our reach into the Aussie Kuma community, and we will teach neighboring communities how to implement a similar poultry system to provide more access to protein, with the overall goal of obliterating malnutrition throughout Ghana. In June of 2021, I plan to return to Aussie Kuma, and I'm extremely excited because I will oversee the groundwork of the poultry project. I will stay for 1 full month helping build the poultry farm and implement the sustainability process. Awarding me $10,000 will not only obliterate malnutrition within the Aussie Kuma community and save children like Julius, but opens the door to expand and supplement the community and areas surrounding it. Feeding these children corroborates a more successful future for our world and prohibits positive communal growth. Here I have included the budget details, and keep in mind that the exchange rate is $1 to 5 Ghanaian cedis. So we didn't go all the way to $10,000 just in case we incur any costs, but this is clearly a very attainable project in a $10,000 budget due to the transition rate and the exchange rate. So we can get it all done, and we're able to provide poultry for the entire community. And for generations to come, this is truly going to impact not only how they eat every single day, but their education and the families. Thank you guys so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, JC. Excellent job. Next up, we have Jasmine Webb, who was mentored by Brian Willett. Join us, Jasmine.
Hi. Hey.
Hello.
Okay. So, oh wait. Can you see this?
Yes, we can. And attendees, if you click, excuse me, that was the other presenter. If you click speaker view, you'll be able to see Jasmine full screen.
My name is Jasmine Webb, and I'm a junior in high school. My nonprofit organization is the Rad Kids Personal Empowerment Safety Education. We are building a safer world, one child at a time. Stay back! Did you know that one simple technique can actually save your life? It took just 2 minutes to learn, but in a dangerous situation, it is very effective because it draws attention and gets space between you and anyone trying to hurt you. Predators are an easy target, and this shows that you are not it, so they move on. Rad Kids teaches this and many other simple, potentially life-saving skills. Rad Kids also help strike back against the ABCs of child victimization: abduction, bullying, child abuse, and sexual assault. Abduction. An estimated 800,000 children are reported missing each year. In 40% of kidnapping cases, the child was killed. How do we stop this? Over 200 children educated in Rad Kids have escaped abduction attempts. Bullying. Last year, 167,000 children stayed home from school at least once a month fearing bullies. How do we stop this? Red Kids is the only national skill-based curriculum that teaches and empowers a child to stop a bully. Not to fight back, but to stop a bully. I believe this is very important because I once had a close friend who was bullied at school to the point where she wanted to quit. I understand how devastating this can be to the person. Child abuse. Did you know that 896,000 children annually were determined to be victims of child abuse and neglect? That is one child every 35 seconds. How do we stop this? Red Kids empowers a child's understanding that no one has the right to hurt them, and if anyone does try to hurt them, they can tell because it is not their fault. Sexual assault. There is one registered sexual offender for every square mile in the United States. A typical predator will abuse 50 kids before they're arrested. How do we stop this? Red Kids in their published book, Sam's Secret, has helped over 50,000 escape the silent pandemic of sexual abuse, molestation, or even human trafficking. These figures are scary, but Red Kids creates hope and, more importantly, opportunity for children to recognize, avoid, and if necessary, escape harm. The Red Kids evidence-based curriculum is shared with elementary school-age children. This program combines their instinctive skills to respond to danger with cognitive decision-making skills. This helps them make good decisions and to respond powerfully in situations that can save their lives. I want this empowerment for the kids in my community. Let's meet one. This is Peyton. He is a kindergartner that will benefit from this grant. He likes to laugh and wear bow ties. Isn't he a cutie? Let's face it, as much as we want to think that adults can keep kids safe, the reality is that adults aren't always around. Kids must learn to make good decisions themselves, and as you can tell, cute little Peyton isn't quite ready for that. Through Red Kids, Peyton and 2,800 local elementary school children will develop individual safety plans to enhance their positive decision-making skills. Red Kids empowers children to develop personal boundaries, enhance critical learning skills, enhance resiliency, increase leadership skills, thrive free of fear and victimization, and enhance social emotional learning skills. When in the presence of danger, people do one of three things. They fight, they run, or they freeze. Remember my buddy Peyton? He needs these Red Kids skills. If danger is present, I don't want him freezing. I want him to be confident and reacting. The Red Kids personal education includes 6 modules. Introduction and development of an empowered child's mindset based on 3 principles. These teach that you are special and no one has the right to hurt you, and you don't have the right to hurt anyone else. School safety, such as how to get to and from school safely and being safe in school, which includes bullying and resolution. Red Kids is the only national curriculum who teaches and empowers children to stop bullies both emotionally and physically. This program also teaches drug prevention. Home safety, which includes gun, electric, fire, phone, and internet safety. Out and about safety, vehicle, bus, road, and wheeled safety, and personal touch and personal space or sexual assault prevention. This is nationally endorsed by Aaron's Law Advocate, Aaron Mann. I just shared the methods that Red Kids uses to empower and teach self-value and self-worth for each individual kid. My goal, when approved as a recipient of this grant, is to implement this life skills education into Eastern Kentucky schools. Together, we can create entire school environments that resist all forms of violence and aggression by implementing to every child. How can we do this? My objective is to certify physical education teachers and counselors in local elementary schools. They will transmit this valuable information to each and every student during PE class. 12 local schools are very excited about the opportunity to become charter schools for this program. These 12 schools that want this program to implement it will be educating 2,800 students in their first year. Each succeeding year, the Red Kids curriculum will be retaught to educate the new students and as a refresher course for those previously educated. This program is very fun, so kids love retaking the course. Therefore, each and every year, about 2,800 kids will get the opportunity to learn the Red Kids curriculum. This will empower the community. One opportunity to build a safer world, one child at a time. Now, let's talk money. The $10,000 grant will cover all expenses associated with the implementation into each school system. The cost of the school will be minimal, only the price of copying materials. The children in my community will be reaping the benefits of this grant for decades. This is priceless. We reside in Eastern Kentucky, which is a poverty-stricken community. All of our schools receive CEP benefits, which are community eligibility provisions. To be eligible, 40% of the students must be below poverty level. My point is, due to the transportation and cost, many of these children will not be able to attend Rad Kids unless it's introduced to them at school. All of these children are valuable and deserve the opportunity to realize that they are special. For many of these kids, they've never been told that they're special. And now is the time to empower them to believe, accept, and prove to them they are. What is a child worth? Most people will say priceless, but what does that mean? I know my buddy Peyton is priceless, so I believe it is worth much more than $10,000. In fact, with this grant, we'll be able to empower thousands of children for years to come. Imagine, if Rad Kids can prevent one child from being abducted or assaulted, it is worth a $10,000 grant. Imagine if one child is not bullied, it is worth a $10,000 grant. Please help me teach the kids in my community that no one has the right to hurt them because they are special. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine. Excellent work. Next up, we have Sophia Gonzalez, who was mentored by Ben Smith. Join us, Sophia.
Alrighty, give me 1 second, Grace. I wanted to share a couple of things in the chat before my time starts. My handout is the picto chart for the judges that has additional information, and for anyone else that's in the Zoom that would care to learn more about my project. And then also, I would like for them to join my Nearpod presentation. Let me get a better link. It's an interactive PowerPoint, so if I could have the judges jump into that link, please, that is now live as I share my screen.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Grace. All right, you could see my screen. You can hear me well. All right, I'll wait for a few of the judges to come in. You can see it at the bottom left hand. They just need to log in and put their name, because as a teacher, I want some participation. I'll wait a few seconds for a few judges to come on in.
Just FYI, Sophia, I have started your time.
My name is Sophia Gonzalez, Top Educator of the Year with NSHSS 2019, and also the founder of Education Focused Project 214. Allow me to have a conversation with you. Imagine if you were stopped at the school doorsteps because of your pronoun. Imagine if you were denied access to opportunities because your gender was looked at as inferior. That is happening to girls all around the world as we speak. And we at Project 214 have a problem with that. And so my passion project is going to focus on the girl. But before I get started, I want you to go ahead and take this poll for me. How many girls internationally do you think are out of school? Go ahead and click on that number. You have 5 seconds. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You guessed it, I'm gonna go ahead and share those results. 130 million girls are out of school at this particular moment in time, and that number is too large for us to ignore. So why? Why am I focusing on the girl? This video that was written by me and produced by my nonprofit, Project 214, will discuss the why. Take a look. Did you know that as I speak, millions of girls are out of school and facing gender inequality at an international scale? UNESCO states 130 million girls are out of school between the school ages of 6 and 17, and 15 million of primary school age, some in Africa, will never enter the classroom.
Did you know that according to the United Nations Women, females make up more than 2/3 of the world's illiterate population? This number is way too big for us to ignore.
Did you know that according to the research from the Malala Foundation, the poorest girls
in the poorest countries only receive just 3 years of education.
And while there are many reasons for girls out of school, a girl's cycle plays a major role.
When girls are on their cycle, they're less likely to attend school due to unclean bathrooms and little access to feminine products.
A period should end a sentence, not a girl's education.
An educated girl is less likely to be trafficked, marry young, and face the dangers of early childbearing.
Research consistently shows the importance of girls' education. Educated women are healthier, earn higher incomes, marry at a later age, and boost
Show and support. I want that for you. Educated 215 or a new.
Did we lose Sophia?
I don't see her on anymore. I think we lost her.
Okay, I'm going to pause her time here.
It's her turn.
Is? Sophia, I've got your time paused. We lost you for a moment there.
Okay. Can I go ahead and, what do I do?
Yes, the video was having some issues, so just go ahead and continue.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and reshare my screen.
Okay.
And so the video was discussing this idea of the girl and how the issues that the world is facing as it relates to the girl is too large for us to ignore. And so what is Her Turn? Her Turn is a campaign of Project 214, a nonprofit that was inspired by my first classroom. It has been featured in my Suburban Life newspaper, Univision, and also NSHSS. It is going to be a girls pilot that is going to focus on one particular region in the world to then serve as a model by which to duplicate, to tackle that 130 million girl out of school number that is way too large for us to ignore. So where and who are we going to focus on? We are going to nestle in the heart of El Salvador, which is a children's home that we have been sponsoring for 8 years. The demographics, there are 16 kids that are in there that are between the ages of 6 and 20 years old. They are orphans and have been abandoned by their children, by their parents. This is a very poor region in which it is very gang infested. MS-13 is predominantly in this region, and it has been compared to the Mexican cartel. And the literacy rates in this region is catastrophic. 6 out of 10 girls drop out of school, and an alarming 61% of the women here are illiterate. These are numbers that we wish to address and eradicate. Here is a video of my time when we went to El Salvador. I'll save that for another time. The link is also in that picto chart that I shared. So the project details, we want to allocate the funds focusing on this children's home. There are 6 girls in here that we really aim to empower with school supplies, uniforms, feminine products to really address that period shaming, Wi-Fi, transportation, and merchandise, which is a shirt that I'm wearing right now called Her Turn. And also things that we buy that are a reusable some of the with this grant money. And then why? What are the outcomes? We definitely want to de-accent levels of motivation, increase their academic performance, encourage those goals to continue and systems of by which they can impose by the that we will provide for them and a person.
Looks like we have lost Sophia again. We'll wait for her to come back here. We'll give her a few more seconds to conclude her presentation. There you are, Sophia. If you can give us the conclusion of your presentation, I apologize for the connectivity issues, but keep going.
Yes. And so to close my presentation, I wanted you to meet a girl named Carlita, who we have been sponsoring for years and have been providing these basic resources for her and her access to go to school. Right now, her favorite subject is art, and she wants to be a teacher when she gets older. This is just one of the many students that if you partner with us, you will help to empower, educate, and elevate. Where are we going next? We're going right next door to the town of Sacacoyo, which is also a town that we have been helping for 9 years. We want to help the local school teacher there. We want to provide scholarships moving forward, and we want to duplicate this model as a pilot to replicate here in the States and in other regions that we have partnerships with. So I wanted to thank you for entertaining this idea that it is her turn. If we give a girl her turn, everyone will benefit. Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon that we can use to change the world. And indeed, this is our weapon. I would like to thank NSHSS, who has become like family to me, my mentor, Ben Smith, and also Project 214. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sophia. Excellent job. Excellent work. And next up, we have Samantha Kopek, who was mentored by Donna Lubrano. Join us, Samantha.
Hello, give me 1 second to share my screen.
Okay.
Can you all see it and hear me?
Looks good.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, hello everyone. My name is Samantha Kopek. I attend Tarpon Springs High School. I'm a senior and I live in Tampa Bay, Florida. I'm a co-founder of Feeding the Fosters, which is a local nonprofit. There was a time when I did not realize how important family truly was to me. I was so lucky to grow up with supportive parents, grow up with my siblings, and have a family that provided a roof over my head and a meal on the table each night. And I didn't realize that there were children living just 2 miles away from me who didn't have these same opportunities. My family served Thanksgiving dinner at a foster sibling group home called the Florida Sheriff's Youth Ranch one year. We witnessed a quiet, about 4-year-old boy in an oversized suit jacket who was stuffing rolls into his pockets for fear he might go hungry. There were bruises of his face, and I could not get the vision of him out of my mind. I knew I wanted to make a difference, but I was only 13, so I started small. I started spending my weekends at the Sheriff's Youth Group Home, and I started drawing, cooking, and eating with the kids, and babysitting. Ultimately, I decided to make them weekly meals. As an Italian, you know the way to someone's heart is through their stomach, and so I just couldn't imagine any of these kids going hungry. I wanted them to sit with their siblings and enjoy talking about their day instead of worrying about what they were going to eat that night. So I used my great-grandma Gracie's recipes to cook dinner weekly for these 15 people. This is my sister and I making baked ziti. These homemade meals were delivered hot at supper time, and this gifted the children and the guardians time to sit around the dinner table together, tell stories, and this was not an experience that any of them were used to. When we started this simple service project, we filled a need we did not realize was so prevalent, especially in our county. Last summer, as I left for camp, I knew I needed to find volunteers to cook for the foster children and keep this project going. So I posted on Facebook and titled it Feeding the Fosters. So many people volunteered to cook, but more surprisingly, over 35 struggling foster families reached out to ask if they could also be included in receiving these meals. Recognizing the need for additional support, my sister Laura and I co-founded Feeding the Fosters Incorporated. Our mission is to support foster families by providing hot homemade meals, store-bought meals, and gift cards to continue the tradition of family mealtime. We've only been a nonprofit for 15 months, so we started with a small board, which includes my sister and I, who work on the social media and cooking meals each week, and also a community philanthropist, infection control specialist, and a foster mom. We use the simple platform Sign Up Genius to organize our families by location. You can read each of their stories and choose one to cook for. Many of them have 8 to 12 or even 14 children. Some have less, but they are all busy. We found a sponsor to donate $1,200 in fees to become a nonprofit and drew up the articles of incorporation. We received an EIN number from the IRS and filed paperwork with the Department of Agriculture since we solicit food donations. We hold fellowship events almost every month where every single family we serve is fed. This feeds over 250 people in one day. We also use these to fundraise. We have spirit nights at local businesses, we advertise sponsorships, we sell t-shirts like this one with our logo on them, and we organize PayPal donations. We often team up with other nonprofits and businesses working together to feed the community. We receive food from Whole Foods, Panera, and Einstein Bagels and organize a food pantry in our garage. This provides groceries for the foster families, but also gives volunteers the ingredients they need to prepare a meal. Another unique factor of this student-led project is that we encourage other teams to find joy in giving back to their community. We offer volunteer hours for students to serve children their own age who are less fortunate. During COVID, we have adapted and increased our outreach to provide food to seniors and bagged lunches to essential workers at the local hospital. We have collected masks from local sewing groups, initiated a pen pal program to keep foster children socially engaged with other high schoolers, and hosted a sponsored CPR class to keep education and safety at the forefront of our growing project. 15 months later, we have thousands of volunteers and we provide up to 250 individual meals per night. We update our social media and I created the website. Foster children often come into the system with only the clothes they have on their back. It's really heartbreaking, but foster parents are able to continue taking in more children because of volunteers like Feeding the Fosters, who are willing to shop for new clothes, toothbrushes, and provide a meal for the children to get comfortable in their new house. While other communities have foster homes closing, we are expanding exponentially, and this is because education is key. We are blessed to share our mission on local newspaper and TV. We have won community and national grants, such as the Community Sheriff's Grant, the Brawny Giants Grant, and been recognized on the George W. Bush Points of Light Honor Roll, spreading foster care awareness. We share success with other counties who are looking to implement the same program based on our framework. They see the need we are meeting, and we hope to grow together and serve more and more people. We have expanded our original mission of providing the tradition of family mealtime to include all traditions any child or family would value. What are your favorite memories from childhood? Celebrating your birthday? What about Father's Day or Mother's Day barbecues? Patriotic holidays like the 4th of July, or cultural celebrations like Cinco de Mayo and Thanksgiving? What about Christmas? Sitting on Santa's lap and having gifts under the tree on Christmas morning? We hope to make all of these traditions a reality for foster children, but the costs to run a nonprofit are expensive. We bless our families with a weekday meal after virtual learning, medical appointments, bio visits, and extracurricular activities for multiple children. Some of the foster parents have lost their jobs due to COVID, and they're counting on us for a Thanksgiving dinner, and 100 children are looking forward to receiving gifts from Santa. This grant would allow us to continue our mission of providing foster families with food and traditions. We hope to use this funding towards a communal kitchen. This would give us a central place to store donations, have a large refrigeration system, and a place where volunteers can cook together to help the community. Eventually, a future goal is to teach foster children how to cook and life skills that they could not learn from their parents. But all of this is only possible with community volunteers, fundraising efforts, and generous grants like this one. Thank you to Army ROTC for sponsoring this competition. Thank you for NSHSS for hosting. Thank you to my mentor, and a special thank you to all of the foster families. You guys are really my heroes. So thank you for the opportunity to share my passion and my mission with you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Alexandra DeRoos, who was mentored by Caitlin Bowley. Join us, Alexandra.
Hi.
Hi there.
Green. Can you see this and hear me?
Yes, now it's full screen. You're good to go.
Perfect. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alexandra DeRoos, and I am the founder and president of Peace Love Leotards, Inc., a nonprofit organization whose goal is to bridge the socioeconomic gap in the performing arts by providing dancewear to dancers in need. Here I've included some pictures which depict the organization's journey. When I was just 8 years old, some of the fellow dancers at the studio I was attending would tell me they were not sure they were going to be able to come back for the next dance season because of the cost. This really helped me to understand the true expenses of dance. What I thought of to help was a small initiative called Peace Love Leotards. My idea was to collect and distribute gently used dancewear to dancers in need. At the time, my friends and I were growing very quickly, especially me, as I now stand 5 feet 11 inches. This meant we outgrew our dancewear while it was still in new or very usable condition. When Peace Love Leotards started in 2011, me and my fellow dancers contributed to the donation of dancewear. I then would sort and distribute it back out. As time went on, I saw how incredible the need for dancewear was and how much people appreciated the work Peace Love Leotards was doing. That is why this past April, I decided to officially incorporate Peace Love Leotards in order for it to grow and reach as many people as possible. So why is dance important anyway? Here's what you need to know. I've included multiple statistics, but the most important is that according to Americans for the Arts, students who participate in the arts are 4 times more likely to be recognized for achievements in academics. Additionally, according to Advancing Dance Education in the Arts, participation in dance is an enjoyable experience for most students, and it promotes self-confidence, self-esteem, and a strong sense of self-identity. When students are able to express feelings and ideas through artistic movement, they gain self-awareness and often self-acceptance. Since our incorporation in April 7 months ago, we have launched a website, gained 11 national brand sponsorships, collected over $11,000 in donations, donated over $3,000 worth of dancewear to over 100 people, partnered with an organization that promotes dance and literacy for children, launched a global ambassador and junior ambassador program, been featured on TV and global magazines and in local newspapers, and become an official certified organization for the President's Volunteer Service Award. We are one of only 2 organizations that does this type of work for dancers. And what is so special about us is that we focus specifically on dance. And we have launched a website, and it is one of our biggest accomplishments in addition to incorporating and obtaining our 501c3 tax-exempt status. Our website is where you will find everything you need to know about us, including an application for dancewear, the form to become an ambassador, links where you can read about us in the media, and where you can donate. Here I've placed some screenshots of our website, including the Apply for Dancewear form, the donations page, and the page with our ambassadors and their ambassador forms. One of our biggest resources has been how we have garnered attraction from the media. Media attention is so important because it helps to spread our message. Peace Love Leotards and the work it has been doing have been featured in both Point Magazine and Dance Spirit Magazine, 2 of the largest dance magazines in the world. Peace Love Leotards has also been featured in 12 local newspapers, including the Gainesville Sun, and has been in a news segment on WFLA News Channel 8. This has all happened within the past 7 months alone. Our global impact, ambassadors. Peace Love Leotards has over 17 ambassadors who are located from California to Singapore. Our ambassadors really help us to scale our organization by establishing collection boxes for dancewear at local studios, hosting dancewear collection drives, and promoting our message on social media. Our ambassador program also gives other people the opportunity to make a difference as well. Our global impact, donations. In just a few months, Peace Love Leotards has donated thousands of dollars in dancewear all over the world, from New Mexico to Malaysia. One of our donation stories that is so special to me is about a young girl named Lammy who loves to dance. Unfortunately, she became very sick and was hospitalized. Because of this, all of the money that would have normally gone for paying for dance went to her hospital bills. She contacted us to help. We were able to send her everything she needed to continue dancing after she recovered. Additionally, we had another young girl named Natanya who applied for dancewear and who has a passion for ballet. However, because she lives in Malaysia, she cannot afford to continue buying the dancewear and dance shoes she needed, as well as pay for the high cost of shipping. We were able to send her a package that fulfilled all of her dancewear needs. There are so many stories out there of so many people we have yet to reach. However, our goal is to be able to help as many of them as possible. So what's next? Some of our upcoming goals that we would be able to accomplish with the use of this $10,000 grant include to sponsor the dancewear of multiple students for an entire year, to build the Peace Love Leotards Dance Academy, to expand the reach of Peace Love Leotards even further by developing chapters, and to partner with Title I schools and other dance programs to give their dancers dancewear. In fact, we received a small grant earlier in the year, and we were able to use that to purchase dancewear for a dance program that we partner with. We have also already begun working on the formation of the Peace Love Leotards Dance Academy. What is the Dance Academy? 2 dance curriculums, 1 beginner and 1 intermediate advanced, which include ballet, contemporary, Pilates, and jazz classes. What is the Dance Academy's purpose? To provide free virtual classes to individual dancers as well as schools who are looking to implement an arts curriculum. Who is the Dance Academy made available to? Absolutely anyone who signs up. Who has already agreed to teach the virtual dance classes? Kelly King, a former Radio City Rockette, Miranda Goldwatts, owner and teacher at Articulating Body Pilates, Indiana Woodward, soloist with the New York City Ballet, and Sarah Adams, also a soloist with the New York City Ballet, have all been confirmed to teach classes. Some of our testimonials include, just finished filming for my first competition ever. Thank you, Peace Love Leotards, for making this happen. Thank you for your kindness. My ballerina is enjoying her new leotard and I am very grateful. Thanks to Peace Love Leotards, we were able to provide our students with their dancewear in a socially distanced manner. Times are different, but we will keep on dancing. The pictures shown here are of dancers as well as the dancewear they have received from us. So help make dreams come true. Choose Peace Love Leotards because we believe dreams should not be cost prohibitive. Thank you to NSHSS for this opportunity and to Caitlin Boley for your mentorship.
Thank you. Excellent work. Next up, we have Emily Hufstetler, who was mentored by Isaac Reynolds Olive.
One second, I'm trying to get my bearings straight with the Zoom in the way. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Hi, I'm Emily Hufstetler. Today I'll be sharing why my project, Build for Bees, is worth your investment. In addition to being the founder of Build for Bees, I'm a Girl Scout Gold Award recipient and a freshman at Maryville College. Here, I'm pursuing a triple major in writing communication, Spanish, and design, as well as my nonprofit leadership certification. I'd like to begin by sharing why my project matters. I started Build for Bees in 2018 in response to a 40% decline in our honeybee population. You'll see on this graph the stats haven't improved since then. We don't even know the stats on other bee species, and this is alarming because we depend upon bees, not only for the health of our ecosystems, but also for our food supplies and even our economies. The honeybee population decline comes down to a number of reasons, as you'll see on the left, and the problem is addressing these issues requires money, expertise, and time that the average person doesn't have. That's where mason bees come in. Mason bees pollinate 95% of the flowers they visit, as opposed to the 5% honeybees pollinate. So helping them can significantly help mitigate the loss in pollination we're seeing. And their docile nature makes them the perfect bee for kids and people with allergies to work with. I've worked with these bees for 7 years, up close and personal, and I've never been stung. To help them, simply build a mason bee house and install it outside. Mason bees, which are already native to our backyards, will find the holes on their own. They'll lay the eggs inside the holes and pack them with mud to protect the eggs. Come early spring, the baby bees will dig their way out and start pollinating. The cool thing is, once the hole has been claimed, the bees will return year after year. On the left, you'll see a traditional mason bee house my family built many years ago. It was made by drilling holes into a cedar block. In 2018, I rethought that, and I designed my own mason bee house that can be made by packing paper straws into recycled mugs, pictured on the right. This particular house was installed well after mason bee season this year, but you'll see that even so, it already has tenants. My design creates a positive reuse for unwanted materials, while ensuring that helping bees is as accessible as possible. I mean that in two ways. First, these supplies are easily obtainable, no matter your socioeconomic status. Even if you don't have access to these exact supplies, they're easy to mimic. You'll see in the middle image that if you don't have access to straws, you can make your own with old magazines. Second, it requires low dexterity. I've built these with little kids, the disabled, and the elderly with no complications. To share this knowledge with my community, I lead Mason Bee House workshops at schools, festivals, and nursing homes. I've taught in both Spanish and English. To date, we've built enough houses to support up to 286,720 Mason bees. When the pandemic hit, I decided to shift to online workshops. I've used this as an opportunity to reach a wider audience, holding both national and international workshops. Since March, I've reached over 500 people. I also have a website, buildforbees.com, that houses my free resources to learn about bees. These are a few of my favorite printables. All About Pollination is a printable book I created to teach kids about pollination. It's accompanied with a free workbook. The second image is one of my free coloring pages. The workshop guide is a printable I made to encourage people to host workshops of their own, and the printable beside it is one of the resources that accompanies the guide. Below that are a couple examples of my blog content. You'll see that I write both how-tos and scholarly articles. I also run an Instagram account at Build for Bees, where I share project updates. This has helped me gain support all across the world. I have new friends in Germany who plan to make Build for Bees workshops a part of their school's curriculum. I've received photos of people's mason bee houses in France and Canada, and I've connected with Latin American scientists who helped me improve my Spanish resources. I've also received many business opportunities. A large Australian environmental organization, which I'm not allowed to name at the moment, is starting an online store. They have over 100,000 followers on Instagram, and they intend to donate to Build for Bees with each item sold. I also build cedar mason bee houses and install them in public spaces such as parks and orchards. I mount a metal plaque on the side of each one that teaches people about mason bees. I've installed a few at my college, and I love seeing people stopping by to read about them. We have an outdoors program here called Fit Green Happy that encourages people to enjoy and help the environment, and my mason bee houses have become a part of their regular tours. The Be More Fund would enable me to grow, innovate, and sustain my project. In the area of growth, my #1 priority is turning Build for Bees into a 501c3 nonprofit organization. This would give Build for Bees the structure it needs to effectively develop a permanent team, welcome more volunteers, attract media attention, and accept donations. Additionally, in the area of growth, I would be able to purchase the supplies I need to host more workshops and build more mason bee houses. Specifically, I plan to hold 10 workshops and build 18 cedar mason bee houses for public spaces annually. In the area of innovation, I would finally have the funds to build a new mason bee house that I've designed for farms, community gardens, and orchards. It is my hope to install these in developing communities, as mason bee houses have been proven to increase a farm's average net profits by $2,400 per acre. I plan to build and install 4 annually. In the area of sustainability, I'd be able to invest in the supplies I need to fundraise. I have a t-shirt prototype ready to go. You might be able to see it right now. And whenever I wear it, people ask where they can buy their own. Selling these as a fundraiser would help advertise Build for Bees while sustaining it financially. Additionally, in the area of sustainability, the Be More Fund would give me the funds I need to continue hosting my website. I hope you'll find that an investment in Build for Bees is an investment in our future. I wouldn't have applied if I didn't truly believe that my project is what we need. There is no organization out there like Build for Bees, which draws upon the resources we already have and guides everyday people in the fight against our declining bee population. Everything my project accomplishes sustains itself, from the mason bee houses that require no maintenance to the online resources that will be available for years to come. This is my passion, and the Be More Fund would propel me toward the privilege of pursuing it for the rest of my life. I'd also like to point out that everything you've seen today I've accomplished with less than $600, and I'd like you to imagine the movement we can create together with 10,000. From this program, I've already received a direct line of communication with the UN. within the hopes of applying this on a global level. And I partner with 3 organizations who are competing today to host more workshops. We all belong in this fight, and I'm calling upon all of us to join. Thank you.
Excellent work, Emily. Thank you for that presentation. Next up, we have Candace Prince, who is mentored by Alyssa Eagle.
Hello. Okay, let me just make sure. Man, you guys put me at the end. That's rough. These are some amazing, amazing presentations.
It was random.
You guys are awesome. Okay, so before I start, I'm going to just make sure that you can see my screen and hear me.
Yes, I can, and I can hear you.
Awesome. All right. Okay, well, my name is Candace Prince. I am an art educator in addition to the Green Hope Project president and founder. Our nonprofit has the 3 pillars of art, education, and environmentalism. The seed of an idea can lead to change, and I know this to be true because this is how our nonprofit started. A conversation after school, high school kids talking about how disappointed they were in seeing all the pollution that's blowing into our pristine desert. That led to conversations with local reps, which led to senator conversations and then also the congresswoman, which led to us going to our state capitol, and we are currently working on policy change. And so here's a clip about how we began.
I feel like it's really important for the younger generation to try to find a way to express themselves as well as promote environmentalism through their artwork.
We went out, drove down Montana, and on the surface it looks great, it looks okay, lots of desert, and then you park and you walk just a couple feet in and then you see all this trash and you just see the pollution that's happening just down the street. With the help of the kids, my idea was to take the trash, wash it, sort it, inventory it, and then have a portable where local artists have clean, readily available art supplies. So there should be no excuse for money because it was free, and then we're cleaning up the land at the same time. Why do we want to stop there? Why don't we start doing local workshops where we teach people how to use it and turn it into something? If they don't know how, we'll show them how. And so there's a range of things we do, from taking aluminum cans and turning them to jewelry, taking magazines, rolling them into beads. And so we said, well, here's the cleanup, here's the workshops. Why don't we add a 3rd component where we have people submit artwork that's made out of recycled materials? It's just this whole collecting, educating, and then the culmination of it, which is the big party with the art exhibition, which is Metamorphosis, Trash to Treasure. Now you have students who are interested in pursuing a degree in conservation studies, in environmental studies, to pursue a career and make a difference statewide, nationwide, worldwide.
So those are the beginnings. That seed got planted and it turned into a nonprofit. Lo and behold, we saw a need in the community. Graduates wanted to be a part of it. Parents wanted to be a part of it. And so it made sense to continue on with this. Our board members are comprised of educators and or artists, and some of my graduates were the founding members. So because we do have this kind of artistic background, we kind of see things differently. So we are using art as a vehicle to educate, inspire, and raise awareness. So kind of a different aspect on things, a different perspective. This is just a little glance. So you can see how instead of these items ending up in landfills, we are turning them into things that can be used. We also have our recycled art contest, $1,500 in prizes, no entry fee. Money should never be an obstacle for anyone. All ages welcome, and we are in year 5 of this art show at this point. We are very proud that this art show is showcased in museums. Artists don't always get that opportunity. We are very proud that we also work with our local nonprofits. If they support us in our cleanup endeavors, we support them as well. We are very proud that our exhibits have information boards throughout the exhibit. Not only are you seeing great artwork, but you're finding out what is the problem and how can you be a part of the solution. Our first exhibit was in 2016. We opened up entries to Texas, New Mexico, and Mexico, going international here. We had over 600 entries. We narrowed it down to the top 200, and we had over 1,000 people attend just our first exhibition. Here's a little glimpse into what these items can be repurposed into instead of ending up in the landfills again. We are very, very proud that we're going to be working with Bardalo II. He is a world-renowned muralist. The kids and I reached out to him and we were shocked that he responded, and he is excited to be a part of this with us. He creates these trash animal series murals depicting animals that are being harmed by the pollution. So he will be coming to our city and doing workshops as well as a mural with us. So we're very excited. The community impact that we have, keep in mind, we're helping land, animals, and people. All parts are affected by the other, much like an ecosystem. So if you help one, you're going to end up helping the other by default. So we're helping many aspects of our community. We want to have an environmental summit as well, because we are realizing that a lot of our environmental groups are fractured. So we want a platform where they can all come together and be stronger united instead of separate. We would like to give out scholarships, much like we're doing here right now at those events. We are working with our congresswomen, our state reps, and precious plastics. This is another initiative, keeping the plastics out of the landfills. This is our moneymaker. So we want to build these machines that will chop up the plastics, melt them, extrude them, mold inject them. We want to teach other people how to do this, not just us. And the specs are already developed. They're free online. This is totally feasible. We had that aspect of the cleanup, some of the unexpected consequences if we have discovered illegal dump sites, contractor waste. As a result of that aspect, we have a task force developed with local businesses and homeowners to get to the root of the problem. We're finding that, like I said, land, animals, and people, this is going to take some policy change. So although we started off in one area, we're realizing that the effects are far greater. We are also finding animals that are being dumped in the desert, just discarding animals as if they were trash as well. And so we are working with animal rescue groups right now to save these animals. So if we can do it, you can do it. This is entirely practical. Our goal is for this to continue, even if Green Hope Project did not continue. This can be done in every community. There's trash in every community. We can have chapters like National Honor Society, curriculum written by teachers and students. That will be long lasting even beyond us. This can be replicated anywhere. Classes, this can be replicated anywhere. We want to teach other places how to do what we've done as the model. We have already expanded into other schools and districts, so this is growing. This is continuing beyond Texas into New Mexico. We want it to go everywhere. That is our plan. The workshops can be done anywhere and everywhere. We want people to know that they can do this as well, academically, art therapy, online, virtually, during COVID. If we were funded, a big bulk of the money would go to the precious plastic machinery. We want you to help us to help ourselves so that we can continue on even without further funding. And so if we can build these machines, we can sell the items and then make money back for ourselves. We want a portion of it to go to curriculum creation so that we can get into the districts. And again, this can be longer lasting. And the remaining funding, we would like to go to our permanent art installation, because that's all we need left to be fully funded, and we can get this guy here, and that will impact so many people in our community that see that. There's power in art. Why support us? It would be like supporting More-A-Thon times 100 because of what we do, because we are getting curriculum out there to everywhere. We are trying to start chapters everywhere. The summit, the scholarships, all these things we do, they're going to continue on beyond Green Hope projects. We know that education plus innovation is going to be longer lasting change. So thank you to everybody who made this possible.
Candace. Thank you so much, Candace.
Thanks.
Next up, and we have 3 more competitors left. Next up is Chloe Johnson, who is mentored by Donna Lubrano. Join us, Chloe.
All right, I will share my screen right now.
And Candace, if you would turn off your camera for us. Thank you. All right, whenever you're ready, Chloe.
So my name is Chloe Johnson. I am a junior in high school, and I'm also the team leader of Minnesota Bye Bye Plastic Bags. Bye Bye Plastic Bags is a global nonprofit organization founded in Bali, Indonesia by activists Melati and Isabel, who started the mission of becoming plastic bag free and saying no to plastic bags in their region. Now, with over 50 plus global teams worldwide, they have inspired so many young people, including myself, to become change makers and make an impact in our society. When I first learned about Bye Bye Plastic Bags, I was especially inspired and deeply moved by their sense of urgency and sense of passion that they had for this cause. And I wanted to take my leadership to the next level. So I applied and was accepted to start a Minnesota chapter of Bye Bye Plastic Bags. From there, I recruited 5 members of young people in their teens that have the duties of legal action, finances and fundraising, education, activity planning, and social media and communications, all of which we share the common vision of Minnesota becoming plastic bag free. We want to serve the greater Minnesota community and become role models for our society, and most of all, unite under saying no to plastic bags. Our mission is to inspire and to empower Minnesotans to say no to plastic bags, and we do this through education, fundraising, communication, and legal action. Our goals are by fall of 2021 to partner with 10 stores and restaurants, 5 schools, and hundreds of Minnesota citizens to pledge to say no to plastic bags and do their part by using alternatives. We also want to fight against the law that prohibits plastic bag bans in Minnesota municipalities, after in 2017, the Minneapolis City Council voted unanimously to ban plastic bags. However, this was denied by Governor Mark Dayton, and he created this law, but we want to change this. If NSHSS were to financially partner with us, our first priority would be to allocate $750 to pay for venues to set up educational and informational sessions, as education is imperative to reaching our goal. During this pandemic, we are also prepared to allocate this money to have specific audiences that we want to target. So we want to make sure that we can pay to have live sessions virtually as well. Second, we would allocate $1,500 to purchase reusable bags with our logo on it, because we want Minnesotans to have a tangible, sustainable resource where they can make sustainable decisions and also learn more about our organization as well. We would next allocate $1,000 for t-shirts and merchandise, which would be sold for sustainable operation, and also has the job of advertising our label as well. Fourth, we would allocate $500 for advertising our upcoming events, activities, and fundraising that we want Minnesota citizens to be a part of. And we currently use Canva to create our social media posts. And if we are in person, printing money is required to give Minnesota citizens direct information to where they can access these events. But if we are on long-term online, we also can use this money to upgrade our Canva free plan, which has limitations, to a pro plan, which would give us more access to so many other ways to communicate to our citizens and bolster our communications to Minnesota citizens. Fifth, we would allocate $1,250 to be financially sustainable. And when we collaborate with the legal authorities in Minnesota, we want to make sure that when we promise to make policy changes and work with them in supporting our mission, we want to be financially comfortable, especially during this first year of our organization. And we also need to be prepared for when we conduct community research. We need to pay to be in certain public areas or speak with community members about their plastic bag usage. Finally, in collaboration with the headquarters of Bali, Indonesia, Bye Bye Plastic Bags, we would give $5,000 as grant money to the global family, the 50 teams of Bye Bye Plastic Bags. This organization is very unique because not only does it have a local impact, but it has an international impact where young people are uniting again as saying no to plastic bags in their region. So we would have teams apply and 5 proposals would be chosen for $1,000. And their team is also set up like ours. They have legal action, they have education, and they have social media and communications, same as our team members as well. So they would be using this money to support their mission and saying no to plastic bags in their region because they may be less fortunate or less privileged in their community. So we need to support them because this international relation is important. We learn from each other and we gain new perspectives of what is happening in the global family of bye-bye plastic bags, and therefore this is very important. Minnesotans with this plan would be able to learn, become educated, and inspired to say no to single-use plastic bags and become activists. They would also be able to access alternatives to plastic bags. And even during the pandemic, we can teach them how to make sustainable choices in their own home. For example, turning a t-shirt into a reusable bag. I use this when I go grocery shopping, and it's quite an easy thing to do, and we want to make sure that Minnesotans feel empowered to do so under our label, where they can understand and recognize that there are young people behind this ambitious mission, and we want to do this and see this vision happen for Minnesota together. Our final expression of our ambition for world betterment is a leadership manifesto that I had written for this organization in the summer, which, among many words, states that we are united in voice, heart, and mind to be the faces of change and shape a world of sustainability and renewal. As Malati said, we don't have to wait until we are older, and we can be young activists and change makers now. So our time is now. Let's change the world together.
Thank you, Chloe. Excellent work. Thank you, Chloe. And next up, we have Avery Timmons, who is mentored by Brenna Rao. Join us, Avery. Hello. Hello. One second.
I plead, hold my hand. Please just come hold my hand. As I prayed, pleaded, and begged for my friend to come stand by me and stop what they were doing, I still watched as they made the decision to take their life. The sinking feeling of guilt and heartbreak has never left me since that moment. As police officers pulled me from the ground and carried me to the station, the first thing I said was, "How can you just stand there?" My question was not meant directly at them. It was a plea to the world of how can we sit idly while millions of children and adults take their lives each year? Moments later, a second chance was given to both me and my dear friend. I was notified that they were currently at the hospital in critical condition, but alive. Relief flooded me, but the next months were still a challenge. They started college in the fall, but when December rolled around, they made the decision to drop out due to financial concerns. Their family could not afford both college and medical bills. I reached out asking about insurance coverage or mental health organizations, but they made me aware that their insurance did not cover costs associated with suicide attempt. As I searched the websites of organizations like Mental Health America, American Foundation for Suicide, and countless others, I could not find where individuals after an attempt could receive financial assistance for their medical bills. While these organizations serve a purpose and provide many resources, how is a survivor supposed to care for their mental health if they are concerned about the $1 million in medical debt that is preventing them from buying groceries or making investments in school and work? At You Are More, we understand everyone struggles with the challenge to remind themselves that we are more than a gender, a race, our grades, our sexual orientation, and also our past. We at times want to weigh in on one feature of ourselves, but that is where our organization comes in. We are here to exist as the voice in the community, telling everyone that you are more. And all those singular things that you think define you, they are not all of you.
because you are a sum of all of your parts, the past, the present, and most importantly, your future. You are more. 6 months ago, I set out to create a community that talked about mental health and started producing solutions for the lack of support survivors may be experiencing. The site started as a brand that individuals could purchase merchandise, and all profit from the shirts was donated to 7 different organizations, totaling over $3,000. The shirts are produced by a company that uses environmentally sustainable resources, and the designs are created by artists who struggle with mental health. In the product descriptions, you can read about the artist's journey with mental health. As well, you can find in our pages on the site as we discuss about free and low-cost mental health resources and educational guides. After 1 month, the success of the site brought the attention of newspapers like The Technique, who praised our mission and encourages students to join the You Are More community. The attention also brought young artists like Nehemiah Wilson, who designed a shirt to raise awareness for Black mental health during a time of turbulence this summer. From our Black Mental Health Matters campaign with Nehemiah, we raised $1,000 for Campaign Zero. An important demographic of our volunteers at You Are More are college students. Colleges and universities have free services for students to receive therapy. These services are limited though, and lead to many students going without continued therapy due to a lack of insurance or parental support. Meeting with social workers at Georgia Tech, we work to bridge this gap for students to be connected with You Are More through their counseling center. As You Are More grows, we hope to have the financial means to provide for students at multiple universities. Currently, we are creating connections to inpatient care centers and rehabilitation in the Atlanta area. As well, we have agreements with therapists and physicians in the area that provide reduced rates for sessions. The connections allow us to provide for individuals not only after an accident, but those who are at risk right now and ensuring they get the resources they need. Our process starts with the application. Depending on how people find out about You Are More, whether through a college social worker, referenced by inpatient care, or a mental health website, individuals will complete a short application so we can understand their level of need. Once their application is reviewed, they will meet with one of our trained You Are More team members who will discuss cost and coverages that we can provide. This individual will become their mental health partner and is equipped with knowledge and training about mental health to check in each month with the individual to talk about how they're doing and determine their acuity of financial assistance. Moving forward, You Are More understands we want to create a community. We realize during these times of struggle, the most important thing we need is support. In our digital age, a vital resource to creating that community is social media. Through Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, we've conducted campaigns supporting Black Lives Matter and suicide prevention. On these platforms, we hope to gain funding so we can further market free, low-cost mental health resources. The work of You Are More has attracted the attention of not only those in need, but groups dedicated to supporting mental health. With the assistance of Georgia Tech student organizations, we are able to raise money for You Are More that can be used to provide financial assistance. As well, the connections to university counseling centers allows us to identify and support the college students who are in need. Our organization believes and upholds the ideology that you are more. During the past few months, the world ripples with the effects of the pandemic. You Are More is a statement and a resource that more individuals are in need of. With suicide rates increasing and finances dwindling, you are a part of the world's aspirations to be more. Join this community that embodies support and is dedicated to saying, you are more. My name is Avery Timmons, and thank you for being you.
Thank you, Avery. Excellent work. Now, down to our final, last but not least, competitor, Nicholas Ugova, who was mentored by Margot Miller. Nicholas, join us. And after our final presentation, I will give instructions to judges and attendees. Thank you.
Hold on, can you see me?
Yes, I can see your screen. It's not full screen yet though.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry about that.
Okay, looks good.
Okay. Hi, my name is Nicholas Ugova. I'm a 17-year-old senior, and my nonprofit is called the Psalm 91 Box Project. The Psalm 91 Box Project is a contactless delivery system, and it has encrypted on the outside of the 12 by 8-inch box that is in the Psalm 91 scripture in its entirety. And these boxes are catered to those in my community who need COVID-19 relief and hurricane relief. And just a little bit about why my community needs these things. It goes back to the beginning of the pandemic. Around July 5th, there was a study done by Fox News, and out of all the cities in the United States, it had Lake Charles at the top in terms of new COVID cases per capita, meaning 406 new cases per 100,000 residents of new COVID-19 cases were reported every day. And if that wasn't bad enough, to add fuel to the fire, Lake Charles has been devastated by multiple hurricanes in the following months of that study. 6 and 7 hurricanes, tropical storms and depressions, which can be realized as a record-breaking hurricane season. And it's just devastated the homes, the families of many who have evacuated, and just a lot of the schools and resources in our community. And along with the devastation, the idea came from, the COVID-19 pandemic, because on June 17th, my grandmother's birthday, normally every year we have a crawfish boil for her birthday. I wasn't able to see her. I had to write her a letter, and me and my family, we sent her a care package with all of her favorite sweets, and she has a sweet tooth, all of her favorite sweets, and just everything she would normally get. And that sort of was a gateway for the idea of the Psalm 91 Box Project, because I feel like I could be a person in my community that helps without actually spiking the cases of COVID with this non-contactless delivery system. And in terms of the versatility of the project, I think the project is very versatile, because in its initial stages, the boxes and the contents only contain disinfecting wipes, Lysol, a pack of paper towels, surface cleaner, face mask and face shields, and soap and hand sanitizer. But as my community's needs shifted and the hurricanes started sweeping through Lake Charles, the content of the Psalm 91 boxes changed a little bit. Instead of having, Lysol and hand sanitizer, we sort of flipped that, and we included more non-perishable items like rice, beans, and cornbread mix, as you can see in the picture there. And in terms of numbers for the boxes, each box, it costs around $14 to make, and we've sold a little bit above 250 boxes. We had to stop a little bit for the hurricanes and continue back. So the numbers, that would equal around $3,500 since the project has started in the summer. Around $3,500 have been spent. And in terms of delivery, right now the delivery is between me and my family. There's a lot of volunteers in my school who volunteered to help me. There's volunteers in my city, and secondhand distribution, which entails delivering to Abraham's Tent, local hospitals and local businesses who share my same idea and just want to help people in our community. And how to request a box. To request a box, the person will need to go on my website, psalm91boxes.com, and they can email or nominate someone who they think deserves a box or is just in need. And word of mouth, that's something that it pretty much got this whole project started. In its early stages, everyone was really talking about it, and apparently the news got a hold of it, the 7 News Nightcast, which you can see in the bottom right. 7 News Nightcast, which kind of set my project on a platform to where everyone in my community knew, hey, he's doing something for the community. I think I would like to donate, or I just like to help his cause. So that was a big help, being put on the 7 News Nightcast. And why Psalm 91? I think Psalm 91 is really one of the most important things of the whole project, aside from helping others. Psalm 91 itself is a scripture that was used in biblical history when people needed protection from plagues or diseases. And in these times we live in, unprecedented times, I believe COVID-19 is a plague, and I think we all need protection from it. So I just want to give that same energy to the people who receive the boxes. And for the future, in terms of what I will do with the $10,000 grant, I will use $10,000 to continue aiding in supplies and delivery of the boxes. And I hope that when people see that the project is continuing to grow, they will be inspired to create their own projects in my community and outside of it to help better the world. And whenever my community is to a point where they can say that they're back at their peak, I think that my project can still continue to grow because of the versatility of it. I think that if the contents were switched and contorted to help other people, whether it be in my community or neighboring communities, I think that my project can still continue to grow as the needs of people continue to grow. And thank you, NSHSS, for allowing me to present my project. And I'd like to thank my mentors as well.
Thank you, Nicholas. Excellent work. So that concludes our presentations. At this time, we're going to ask all of our attendees to stay in the room and all of our mentors to stay online if you are, and all of our attendees who are out there to stay online as well, to stay in touch for the announcements. At this time, judges, please leave this room. You should have received a link in your email as well as in the Slack channel to go into your private room where you can do your deliberations. So at this time, all judges, please leave this Zoom room and go to your private judge deliberation link. Now at this time, we are going to take questions from the audience. Anyone who is attending from anywhere in the world, please ask any questions of these presenters that you have, anything you might have been wondering during their presentations. Competitors, feel free to ask questions of each other. We will now open the chat for Q&A. So Emily is asking, can this be a time to share our social media handles? Absolutely, Emily. Please drop those in the chat. All of you participants, please go ahead and drop your social media handles in the chat. That would be awesome. So questions from the audience. As they come in, I will explain to everyone again who is attending how this competition progressed up into this point, because I saw some questions about that. How did we get to this point? So we sent out a call to our members earlier this year asking them to apply for this opportunity to compete for $10,000. We went through a selection process where we selected 50 people to participate, or 40 rather, and we started with round one yesterday where we eliminated some folks from the competition, and we did another round this morning where we eliminated even more, and then now here we are with our 20 finalists. So we have a question from Charlotte James. How did you find your mentors? So we actually did that on NSHSS end as well. We put out a call to our partners in our community, and a lot of incredible people stepped up as mentors, and then they were assigned based on their area of expertise to the competitors. Do you have Instagram? Yes, please, if you have Instagram handles, participants, please drop them in the chat like I did say. Let's see if we have any more questions. Is this recording available? Absolutely, this recording will be posted next week on the NSHSS website. We encourage you to share it with everyone, to watch it again if you want to watch it again. I know these presentations were incredible, and I would definitely watch them again myself. What other questions do we have? Will there be a participation certificate for 40 participants? No, we don't have that planned yet, but certainly tell everyone that you did participate in the very first NSHSS More-A-Thon. It's a historic moment for NSHSS, and we're very excited. So any other questions from the audience? Any questions from the competitors? Now is the time. All right. Lulu says, are you connected to Spelman College? Do you give scholarships to the people that are accepted to Spelman? No, not necessarily. We are not partnered with Spelman College yet, but we would love to be. Will we have this event every year? Charlotte, yes, that is the plan. We will have this event in 2021. So all of those who might not win today can certainly apply next year. All right, a question from Candace to Emily. Emily, will you do a virtual workshop with Green Hope Projects for your bee houses? They would love to partner.
I would love to. I think your organization sounds really amazing, and I love partnering with all kinds of groups. So if there's anyone in the audience who's interested in partnering with me to do a workshop, you can email me at buildforbees@gmail.com.
Yes, I will be in touch with you for sure. You're awesome. All of you guys are awesome, but I need you with the bee stuff for sure.
Love that. Yeah, that's what this whole competition is about, is connecting you guys together. And those Slack channels will still remain open, so you can definitely communicate with each other. We have another question from Ararat Romero. He says, hi, good afternoon. Did you have any setbacks with your project? Whoever wants to take that question, go ahead and jump in. Alessandro.
Definitely. I mean, the biggest setback obviously is you being 18. You're going to be in a room full of 20 to 30-year-olds. They're going to look at you and say, what can you bring to the table? You're half my age. And that's really where you got to shine. You have to really show yourself as being more than just how old you are. You have to show what you've done in such little time, and really what you've done in your past and what you're planning to do in your future is really what sets you apart. And I think that's been my personal biggest setback.
Anybody else want to chime in there? I'm sure somebody else here had a setback.
Yeah, adding on to that a little bit, I think speaking from the perspective of research and innovation and development, with science, it's a never-ending process, and especially with engineering, you know, you have a project, you have a prototype, you build something, but there's always more to be done. And sometimes, you know, you'll build a prototype and you'll think it works great, and then you'll go to bed and you'll wake up in the morning and realize, oh wait, I didn't think about this. This could also go wrong. And so kind of addressing those things is, I think, a big part of everyone's project here.
Absolutely. Someone has a specific question for Candace. Will you attempt to partner with universities or high schools that are looking for materials for their growing engineering programs?
Heck yeah. We'll partner with anybody for sure. I mean, if you have the same goals and missions we do, we definitely want to help. I think because the presentation goes so quickly, it's hard to elaborate. But one point that I really wanted to make clear is that I think scientists, engineers, artists, I think we really need to work together, because I think isolated, we're not as powerful as we are together. Artists have the hook. We can do the visuals. I'm not a scientist. I need your help, science people. I mean, some of your presentations, you made me feel stupid. You guys are incredible. We need people like you. And the engineers, we need people to build this stuff. We need that. So I think, yeah, we definitely want to work with the universities and schools. So if anybody's interested, hit us up for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Collaboration is key. So another question, I want to ask JC Hall if she worked in Ghana. That is where I'm from, and I would like to talk with her.
I sent a message back to them.
Great.
But yes, I have been there twice, and I absolutely love it.
You guys should connect. Absolutely. All right. To Nasia, will your program offer elective courses for students as well as academics? That's a good question.
Yes, it will. So Canary Academy Online will offer a range of courses from electives to community created courses, as well as core courses as well.
Any further questions, please drop them in the chat. I do have a question for Benjamin. I'm curious what inspired your project?
What inspired my project was, I would say just, you know, Prince, the person I used for my background music in my final slide. When I found out that he died due to drug overdose, I did a lot of research. And I found that the numbers are just totally staggering. Just 47,000 just U.S. people in the United States are 47,000 people are dying every year, and it's increasing. This is not a stagnant number. This number's increased twofold since 1990, and its trends are showing to only increase. And it just and on top of that, with COVID, a lot of people are taking more opioids, and and also in hospitals with COVID on top of that, they're getting more put into there a lot of alarms that nurses are having to deal with. So they get, as I discussed earlier, they get alarm fatigued, and then they actually sometimes turn off the alarms, and then they completely miss signals that people are overdosing and dying in hospitals. And so I wanted to fix that and make it so it would be automated to allow people to save their lives. And also friends that are not very close to me, I have experienced, went to a party and they decided to take opioids for some reason. I don't know why. They weren't too close to me, but close enough to definitely impact my decision to continue this project. And it just, when they were at the party, nobody really noticed that they were overdosing until it was way too late. And I feel like if they had my device, they'd be able to, I would still have those friends, so.
Yeah, wow, that's incredible. We do have a question from Daniel specifically for David. Will you be expanding outside of Australia, or did you already have other locations where you have set up?
Yeah, thanks for your question, Daniel. Absolutely. Yeah, there's no reason why it should stop or be restricted purely to Australia. I've been speaking to some accelerators and incubators in the States, and yeah, would love to take this global, certainly.
Very good question. And then from John, Candace, I am at Texas State University in San Marcos, Texas. I run the brand new civil engineering program. You can contact me if you wish. Search for the Ingram School of Engineering. And Candace, I will copy that question and send it directly to you.
Yeah, because I didn't see it. I'd appreciate that.
Yes, that is in our Q&A.
Okay.
I will connect you with that. Let's see. So Lulu asks, how do you know you won the $10,000? Like, what do you have to do to win? So it's been a weekend-long competition, like I did say. And these participants were selected through their application that they originally submitted to NSHSS. We went through our initial standard scholarship review. We selected 40 individuals to come and compete this weekend. And here they are at the final round of the competition. And they've done an excellent, excellent job. What other questions do we have? Please feel free to drop your questions in the chat. I love to see you guys networking in the chat as well. And John, that question that you sent to Candace specifically, if you would drop that in the Zoom webinar chat rather than the Q&A. For some reason, I'm unable to copy and paste it, but please connect with Candace. I'm sure that she would love to connect with you.
Yeah, I snipped it, so I got it.
Okay, awesome, wonderful. And I saw another question that's kind of relevant as we're talking here. Was this competition open to adults? So yes, we did open this competition to our members, our educators, anyone who wanted to apply who is within the NSHSS community. So only NSHSS members or NSHSS educators were able to apply for that. So we did end up having some educators with us here today, as well as some high school and college students. So that's how the competition worked. We wanted to bring together people from all over the world, all over our community, in all walks of life, of all ages, to get different perspectives. So, yes. John is working on conductive roadways. Then you definitely need to connect with Ashkan as well. Any other questions that you guys have for each other or from the audience? Definitely a great time to learn from each other.
Genevieve said she'd be interested in a 30-second Mason Bee House tutorial, and I was wondering if that would be okay.
Please tell us how to make a Mason Bee House. I'm very curious.
It might even be less than 30 seconds. I can make it record time. You just take a mug, preferably an ugly one, and stick a cute sticker on it. And you just stuff it with straws. So these are the ones I use. They're 3/8 inch diameter. But if you don't have straws at home, you can roll your own out of magazines and then stuff it, hang it outside, and in early spring, the bees will find it and move in.
I think I'm making one tonight, Emily. That's incredible.
You should post it and tag me or something. I really like seeing them.
My staff on the other end is asking me if you sell honey.
Unfortunately, I don't. Mason bees don't produce honey because they're solitary bees. That's one of the reasons they're so much more productive than honeybees, is they're more focused on pollinating than they are producing honey.
Gotcha. Interesting. Did you get involved with bees from your family? Is it something that your family does, or did you learn some other way?
Yeah, so my family has a garden, and we had planted some fruit trees that needed pollinators, but the trees we had, I think they were apples. My mom could correct me, she's watching, but they bloomed in early spring before other bees were out. So mason bees are out in early spring, late winter, before other bees are out because the others are still dormant, which meant that they were able to pollinate our trees before other things could. So yeah, we built one, we hung it outside, and they moved in within hours, and we found that really interesting to watch, and we've been watching them year after year since then. So it's been 7 years.
Nice, that's so neat. What a cool hobby. We have another question for Elizabeth. Are you going to dance in college? Do you plan to dance in college?
I do. So I'm actually a student at the School of American Ballet, which is the feeder school for the New York City Ballet. And so my goal is to ultimately dance in the New York City Ballet and then go to college, either at like Fordham University or Columbia's General Studies program. However, if that does not happen, then I would love to go to college and continue dancing there.
That's exciting. Another question we have for Samantha, do the foster families volunteer with you?
Thanks for the question, guys. Sorry about that. So foster families, most of the time they don't end up volunteering with us, but we do connect with a lot of volunteers throughout our community, and one ways that the foster families can get involved in this is by coming to our food pantries. Right now we're hosting them in our garage almost every week with food that we get from End of Day Panera Bread or Einstein Bagels or Whole Foods, so they can come and pick out snacks for their family or groceries, and volunteers can also come and get some goodies to make meals with. Also with that, we're starting our holiday traditions and holiday fun things, and so one of the things we do for the kids that is very involved is we have the foster kids make a Christmas list, but we also ask them to include things that they would like to buy for their siblings, and we have a little brunch at our house where the foster children can actually shop and pick something out for their siblings instead of just getting a gift, and we really believe in trying to promote the spirit of giving, especially during the holidays.
That's really neat. That's a great idea to get them involved as well. Next question we have is Harshu. Someone wants to know what it's like to work with those doctors at the university. I'm sure you're learning a lot.
So it's been like a wonderful experience because they've been actually working on their own computational approaches for like Streptococcus A vaccines. So learning from them, like trying to see what they're doing and trying to implement it for other diseases. It's been really like a learning experience.
Very cool. Kaylin was asking, have we chosen the finalist? Actually, to get you guys excited, I have a chat open with my staff right now who are updating me as these judges choose the winners. So we will be making those announcements here very shortly. But until then, we're going to keep asking questions. A question from the audience. Miss Candace, how many beads are you guys able to make with the plastic machine? I am very interested in that, because I make a lot of bracelets and hope to be able to reduce plastic through using machines and computer science to reduce the CO2 burning that the plastic produces.
You know, in regard to the quantity, I'm not sure yet because we haven't built them yet, but everything that we have found, I'm not going to pretend like we invented precious plastic. It is something that was done in Europe, and it's free source. Like everything is free online. The specs are free. The video step by step is free. So I'm going to put the link in the chat so you could check it out. I think the idea behind it being free is so that this can spread all over the world to eliminate plastic waste. So why, you know, keep it to yourself and be territorial about it? So I will share it with you so you can share it with someone else, so they can share it with someone else. I mean, guys, you can even make bowls and chairs and planters and pots, and they even tell you which plastics are not safe to heat up, and so you can get a science lesson at the same time. So I'll put that in the chat for you.
Awesome. Next question we have is for Andrea. How has Dee funded your work so far?
Right, I just answered on the group chat, but basically done, our project is a family project, and everything we've done it through our own efforts and with the partnerships that we've been lucky to do with brands and amazing businesses and organizations as well.
Nice. Another question we have is for Joseph Zhang. Do you teach or give lessons on learning Chinese? Because it was mentioned that you speak Chinese.
Yes, I do speak Chinese. However, I don't teach or give lessons on speaking on Chinese. I have friends that do. So if you do want to know more about it, you can just reach out to me and I can probably just connect you with them. I will drop my email in the chat if you guys want to know about that.
Yeah, please share your contact information in the chat. That's definitely a great time to do that. A question from Diana from the audience. How can we contribute to the Psalm 91 box project? This is for Nicholas. She said she didn't see any way to make a donation, but if you could share that with us, that would be great.
As of right now, we're setting up a donation process where people outside of Lake Charles and outside, like whichever state you're from, can contribute and donate. So that's being set up within the next coming weeks.
That's awesome. You'll have to share it with NSHSS so we can share that with our community to get you some donations. Let's see, what else do we have in here? Another question we had, the mentors, if you're in here, you can add in the chat. You don't have a microphone feature, but you can add what your highlight was of being a mentor. And then the flip side of that question, participants, what was the highlight of your mentoring experience? What did you learn most from your mentors?
I kind of had several mentors, I guess, but one of the connections I got was to the United Nations, and that's absolutely crazy to me because that's been my dream for so long. So I'm very thankful to Joseph for that.
Yeah, connections.
I could also answer that question. I think the stuff that I learned from my mentor that I got from the NSHSS was completely invaluable. I learned a ton of stuff from him. For example, my initial presentation had around like 100 words per slide, and he was explaining to me that it wasn't really the greatest idea to do that, and to add pictures and stuff and explain with my own words, and that would be more impactful. And he teach me how to make my presentation the most impactful I possibly can. And that my final goal for this project, not only to save lives, is to actually spread out the awareness of opioid overdose, because many of these people are highly functioning, and you wouldn't never even know that they're taking opioids, and they could be taking it through for a multitude of reasons. So
yeah, absolutely. There's a lot to learn from your mentors, and we're glad to provide them to you. Another question specifically for Nasia: how did you come up with your program name?
Well, mainly for me, I started off because I wanted to find an animal, because I really like animals, my brother and I. I wanted to find an animal that kind of represented the company as a bird, because I've always wanted to have a bird's eye view of the world. I wanted our students to be able to come in and realize their purpose and really look at things from a different perspective, because that's what we're all about. And of all of the birds that I researched, the one that I really liked was the canary, especially considering the fact that most people actually don't know a lot about canaries. They seem like they don't really have a purpose. And yet, when you look deeper into the research, I just found out a while ago, that canaries actually do have an important role in our environment and in mainly jobs people do. My dad actually told me that canaries actually risk their lives every year to help miners, because they actually help miners realize where the deadly fumes are and those types of things. And I used all of that and put it together and just realized that Canary Academy embodied such a bigger picture of purpose and meaning and what it really means to give back to the community.
Very cool story. Yeah, it's the canary in the coal mine saying, right? All right, another question we have from the audience. Regardless of who wins, what's everyone's next step to continue your project, to continue to grow your idea? What's your next step?
I'll be starting with the partnerships that I've formed through the Be More Fund. There's 3 organizations that are competing that showed interest in working with Build for Bees, and they're all really incredible, and I'm excited to use this as an opportunity for networking, I guess would be the fancy word for it. But yeah, there's people I got to talk to that I would not have gotten to talk to on a regular day, and I'm really thankful for that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Around. Go ahead, Sophia.
Oh, sorry, Grace. Yeah, piggybacking off of what Emily was saying, this idea of networking is something that was just an added, bonus to this whole experience, with its ups and downs and highs and lows. And, getting to partner with other people that are like-minded and that have been able to view our projects from a vantage point that we never looked at before. So that fresh lens, that fresh set of eyes has been amazing. And it's exciting to see the possibilities of partnership and just spurring one another on. I thought was also cool, like people affirming your passions. That was really rewarding.
I want to piggyback on Sophia and just let you guys know that what you are all doing is incredible, because sometimes I can't even bear to watch the news because it's so overwhelming and the problems seem almost crushing. But being here with you guys, you totally give me hope and you inspire me. So thank you for what you're doing. Anytime you feel down and like you're not making a difference, just know that you are, because I'm always going to think back to you guys. So keep doing what you're doing. You are amazing.
Wow, Candace, you're going to make me cry, and we haven't even announced the winners yet. Anybody else? What's your next step? Yes, Elizabeth.
I think no matter what, I'm going to try to continue with the Peace Love Leotards Dance Academy, because I believe that that's a really great way to bring dance education not only to individuals, but to implement it into school curriculums as well. I've done a lot of research, and I know just how important that the arts and dance is to academic learning. There's so many statistics and ways that, so many people talk about STEAM or STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. The approach that I've read about is STEAM, which is science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. And I believe that's fundamental, because the arts are a way that you can help with your academics. You can implement them to help further the other achievement or the other subjects, if anything else. And just overall, they improve the quality of life that you can add to someone's life. So I think no matter what, I'm gonna try to pursue that.
That's awesome. Anybody else? Next step.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
You can go ahead.
Oh, thank you. I was just going to say that I think the next step for me is definitely just trying to get as many resources to finish my research aspect of my projects, and then get the resources to start the community gardens, so we can really start getting that fresh produce out, especially to food deserts in my metropolitan city, because that's a really pressing issue. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to be doing next.
Excellent.
Yes. Yes. So for me, my next steps are going to be to expand my nonprofit to more and more families. I definitely want to attend a homeschool convention, like I said in the presentation, because I want to get the word out there and I want to help as many families as possible. And then I want to make more community partnerships within the local area and online to be able to really get the word out and to really develop this nonprofit to make it as big as it can be.
We have a specific question for Chloe here. What is something that you have learned from your global team by Buy Plastic Bags?
Yes, of course. So upon having a global team meeting in October, that was something that was brand new for me. It was a brand new experience. I got to see all the team leaders globally around the world. And I think really connecting with one another in terms of strategy of what is a common goal that we can gravitate towards, and how I can build my perspective on how to fight the problem of plastic bags by watching the success of others. I mean, we celebrated an announcement how the Egypt team had a ban of their plastic bags, and that was really remarkable. And I thought to myself, wow, I've been so inspired, and I really connected with them in terms of their goal and their strategy. So I think that having just this multi-layered strategy in terms of how to combat this very large pressing issue, I feel like that's definitely something that I've learned and taken away. It's very inspiring.
Very nice. And one final question here before we move on to announcements. From Ping, she asked, for Ishani, the Clean Water Project is awesome. What is next with the UN?
Yeah, so working with the UN, I think the question also asked how I got in touch with them. So to get in touch, I just basically emailed them and told them a little bit about my project and pitched my research and my data to them. And they thought it was interesting. And so we're planning to start with outreach in countries like Bangladesh and India, especially because my family and part of my family lives in India. So starting with the rural villages in my home state there, and then expanding to the neighboring state of Bangladesh, because my family lives right on the border of India and Bangladesh. And then kind of just growing it from there to their other chapters around the world through their clean water program.
Very nice. Anyone else want to share their next steps before we get started here? Andrea.
Yeah, sure. So basically, we're having our album release in 2021 in around the summer, and we're also having our cartooning contest go out in the summer of 2021. And we're also having a Christmas album release for next year that is going to go along with a lot of partnering with food banks and orphanages, so we can, have those humanitarian events as well to go along with our project, because that's what we love to do.
All right, anyone else? Next steps. I'm curious, JC, what's your next step?
My next steps are I'm still 100% going to Ghana for a full month. And if I do obtain this $10,000 grant, I'm going to start the poultry farm. But if not, I'm still I'll find funding. I'll reach out to other grants, write more grants. I've actually been looking into how to write like really proper grant essays. So I'm going to look into that still. And I will be returning to Ghana. And on top of doing the poultry farm, I'm actually going to teach English there for the full month and going to live with the kids. So I'm just going to work on building relationships with them and work on strengthening just the center and as a whole.
All right. Well, I have good news for you guys. The judges are all back here. So we are going to finish this thing out and announce the winners of the first NSHSSB More-A-Thon. Let me just get our presentation screen up here and we will do this thing. All right, welcome back to our judges. I guess I just have to scroll through this entire presentation. Here we go. Welcome back to our judges. I think we have all of you here. So before we do this, I want you guys all to know that this was probably the hardest decision of their lives, the judges. I'm sure they'll tell you that. This is the moment you've all been waiting for. This is what we've been leading up to this weekend and over the past, 2 months. So if you're selected as a winner, you're going to receive a Zoom link to go into our media room. We will do some quick interviews and take some pictures virtually of everyone together where you will be interviewed, and we will begin with the announcements. I will pass it off to James from the Army to announce our first winner.
Oh, well, hey, thank you very much, Grace. I appreciate it. Guys, this has been 2 days of some of the most challenging things I think I've ever done. I really didn't expect for it to be this in depth, but I was glad I was a good part of it. I would love to announce the winner of one of the $10,000 grants, Miss Genevieve Jean-Pierre, for her work as Fungus as Energy. So congratulations to you, and Godspeed, and I hope to see you in the future as a Fortune 500 company or something. Thank you.
Incredible work, Genevieve. We're so proud of you. All right, next up, quick round of applause. Next announcement from Mr. Jonathan Bobrow.
Thank you so much, Grace. Thank you to all the participants. It's amazing. It's my pleasure to announce the next winner is Aishani Jha. Congratulations, and looking forward to those next steps.
Excellent work, Aishani. We're proud of you as well. Next up, announcing will be Miss Bonnie Abonzo.
Hi, thank you for allowing me to participate. I was inspired by all of your presentations, and I'd like to congratulate Samantha Kopek. And I know that with your project, you are going to help save so many lives, impact so many people. Congratulations.
All right, incredible work. Next up, Mr. Leon Carr, would you please announce your...
Yes, ma'am. I have the privilege of announcing and congratulating Miss Emily, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Hufsteller. Is that correct, Ms. Hufstegler?
Incredible.
Congratulations.
Incredible work, Emily. We're so proud of you. Next up, Miss Cindy Minigaz, would you announce yours?
Yes, it is my pleasure to congratulate Nasia Israel on her win of a scholarship, or the grant. Put your camera on, Nasia, we want to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, Nasia. Okay, next up, I hate to cut off all this joy, but the next up, Omar Cruz, would you announce your winner?
Yes, absolutely. First off, just as Grace said, this was a really challenging, really hard. I learned a lot in this whole competition. This is my first time being part of it. I'm honored to be part of it. And like I said, you guys have definitely all enlightened me. Just expanded my mind on the different topics that are out there. But to announce my winner, I hope I get this correct. Apologize in advance if I got the name, if I don't pronounce this right, but it's Harsher Pandey. He's our winner.
Incredible, Harshu.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you so much. Next up, Jamie Finch, would you please announce your winner?
Yes, I am so excited. David Tutu, I saw your presentation in the first round and you are my winner. So congratulations. WeLink is awesome and I'm just really excited. Excited for you.
That means so much. Thank you so much, Jamie.
No problem.
Congratulations, David. Hey. Next up, Amy Boncano, would you announce your winner?
Yes, I am pleased to announce and to congratulate JC Hall and wish her all the luck in her future.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I know you're just going to blow it out of the water.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congrats, JC.
Well deserved.
Excellent work. Next up, Brian Mitchell, would you announce your winner?
Yeah, first of all, congratulations to everybody. Everyone deserves a massive, massive round of applause. You really inspired us. I have the privilege of announcing Candace Prince as one of our winners. Congratulations, Candace.
Excellent work, Candace. We're so proud of you.
Thank
you.
you.
And our final winner, Morgan Vasquez, would you please do us the honor?
Absolutely, Grace. I can't echo enough how proud we are of everyone. Everyone should celebrate this weekend knowing they did a fantastic job. And I have the honor to announce someone as a winner who I personally know and admire, and she inspires me all the time. So Sophia Gonzalez, congratulations.
Congratulations, everyone. All right, before you all lose it, we want to hear one more time from our president and CEO and co-founder, Mr. James Lewis. Would you please come on and offer your congratulations to these incredible, incredible competitors and winners, all of you.
Good. Boy, I am so inspired. Congratulations to everyone that participated. You know, NSHSS is all about academic excellence, you know, being curious, finding solutions, having an open access to great ideas. You've inspired me and everyone that has listened to us today, and I just can't congratulate everyone for the great work. You've made a difference in the lives in your communities. I've enjoyed getting to know you this afternoon and hearing your passions. I get really emotional. Congrats, everyone. Really proud of you. Thank you, Grace, too, for doing an amazing job as a host. But
Absolutely. Jen, you're going to make me cry.
Wow.
Well, thank you to everyone. This has been an incredible weekend. This has been definitely one of my favorite weekends since this whole year turned horrible. You guys inspire me every day, and now I'm going to cry, Jim. But thank you to everyone for participating. Thank you to the judges. Thank you to the mentors. You guys make every day worth it coming to my job. So at this point, the winners, we will join you in the media room where you will be interviewed, and we will take some pictures. You'll see that link in a separate Slack channel to join us there. And everyone save the date for Monday, December 7th at 6 p.m. Eastern. We are going to have a virtual Nobel Week. Unfortunately, we cannot go to Sweden this year. However, we are going to celebrate the Nobel Awards and the Nobel spirit as virtually as we can. So save the date for that. I know you guys want to go celebrate. Winners, please join us in the media room, and competitors, do not let this be the end. This is not the end of your project at all. And we will be here next year to welcome you at the competition again. Thank you all so much. Have an excellent night. I will see you winners on the other side. Goodbye, everyone.